Hey, what's up everybody? Clifton here, Clifton WP. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a simple membership website from scratch, step by step, using 100% free tools. Now, building out a membership website is a high-ticket skill. So if you know how to build membership websites for yourself or for your clients, you can earn a very decent living building out these kinds of websites. So if you guys are ready to learn how to build a membership website from scratch, step by step, for free, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so there's a very simple process to building out a membership website. I like to do it in 5 steps. The first step is to go ahead and purchase a domain name that's going to direct people to our website. And then the second step is to get quality hosting. The third step is to connect the domain and the hosting. The fourth step is to build out the membership site. And the fifth step is to test and launch your website. So let's go ahead and get started with the first step, which is to purchase your domain name. Okay, so a domain name, which is a unique human readable name that identifies your website on the internet, is basically what people would place in the address bar or the search bar of your browser to be able to navigate to your website. And domain names need to be registered and purchased from domain registrars. An example of a domain name is Amazon.com, which is the domain name for Amazon, or Google.com, which is the domain name for Google. Or if you're looking at this very website here, Cloudflare.com would be the domain name for this website. Now, there are lots of domain registrars where you can register a domain from, but my favorite one to utilize is actually Cloudflare.com. Now, a lot of people know Cloudflare for offering protection and security for your websites, or providing a content delivery network for your websites, or what's often known as a CDN. But what a lot of people may not know is that Cloudflare also offers domain registration at cost. So they tend to be more cost effective than a lot of the other domain registrars that are out there. So what we're going to do now is going to go ahead and register a domain through Cloudflare, and I'll show you how to get this done. Go to cloudflare.com. Then from here, if you don't have an account, you're going to go ahead and click on sign up. If you do have an account, then go ahead and log into your account. For this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead and sign up. I already have an account, but we can create a new account for this tutorial. So let's go ahead and click on sign up. And when you get over to this page, you're going to select this free tier, because for now, all we really want is the domain. There are some other great services here. Later on, you can explore those. But to be able to just get to the domain purchasing, let's just go ahead and create a free account. So I'm going to click on add a website, and then you put in your email and create a password, then go through the verification and sign up. Okay, then it's going to bring you over here. And when you get to this page, we're going to click on register a new domain. If you have an existing domain, you can add it in here and then go through the same process. But I want to register my domain at Cloudflare. So I'm going to click on register a new domain, and they've sent me a verification to go ahead and verify my account. Here is the verification email, and basically clicking this link will go ahead and verify the account for us. Okay, so now my account is verified. So over here on the left hand side, you can see the domain registration menu items, and then here is where you would go ahead and register your domain. So we'll do a search for our domain, and the domain we're going to use in this tutorial is builtinwp.com. Okay, click on search. The domain is available. We're going to go ahead and click on purchase. So you see here's $10.44, and it will renew at $10.44. Let's go ahead and click on purchase. Okay, and here you can choose how long you want to register this domain, 1 year all the way to 10 years. In this case, I'm just going to select it for 1 year, and then fill in your registrant information, add your payment information. I like to set mine to automatic renewal so I don't lose my domain, and then complete the purchase. Okay, so now we have purchased our domain, and from here we can go ahead and manage the domain and also do other things with it. So if you click on manage domain, it'll take you over here. You can see all the details for your domain here. Okay, and now that we've added this domain, we can also go and take a look at the domain DNS to get to the DNS configuration. So DNS stands for your domain name service. Up here, you can see update DNS information. If you were to click on this, this is where you can go and configure the DNS records for your domain, which you'll need to be able to do in order to connect it to the server. So now that we've purchased our domain, we can see that we have access to our DNS. Let's go ahead and pick up a server from our hosting company. Now that we've acquired our domain, our next step is to go ahead and acquire a server where we're going to host our website and also point the domain so that the website is accessible on the internet. When it comes to hosting, there are several options that are available to you to be able to host your website. There are mainly two solutions that you can look at. The first one is shared hosting, where your website's being hosted on a server that's sharing resources with multiple other websites. And typically this is not ideal for a membership website. The second option is dedicated hosting, where your website is hosted on its own server and has access to all of its own resources. And this is usually very ideal for a membership website or e-commerce website or a website that offers online courses. And the reason for that is because when you are operating a membership website, it's going to be very important that the host can handle any spikes in traffic or any spikes in access by concurrent users. Because as you gain more traffic and as more people log into your website, then there is a higher demand and higher load required on that server. And if you don't have enough resources, or if you're sharing resources with multiple other websites, then what could end up happening is your website could crash, or it could slow down dramatically to where it becomes a very poor user experience for your members. And that is why whenever I build a membership website, I always host my website on a server where I have dedicated resources. Now, typically, shared hosting is very accessible and very, very affordable. And this is why most people go with shared hosting. However, dedicated hosting sometimes can be resource intensive in terms of financials, and it can also be very difficult to operate from a technical standpoint. And this is why I recommend the sponsor for this video, which is Cloudways. The beauty of Cloudways is that Cloudways bridges the gap between having a dedicated server and being able to manage that server without having to be a technological maverick when it comes to hosting and servers. So it basically allows the average person to be able to operate a pretty professional, high performance, high scalability server for their WordPress websites without necessarily having to know all the ins and outs and all the technical aspects that you would need to be able to operate that server. And they provide a very, very easy to use, user-friendly management interface over very powerful hosting solutions. And this is why I always recommend using Cloudways when you're building a membership website, or when you're building an e-commerce website, or building a website where you will be offering online courses. In addition to that, Cloudways also offers great security. They also offer great flexibility, and they have several other solutions for pretty much any type of website that you want to host. Lastly, Cloudways is also very, very affordable for the performance that they provide, the scalability, and the flexibility. The pricing is very accessible by anyone. So let's take a look at the pricing for Cloudways. If you go to their website right now, you'll see that they're offering a special of 40% off for 4 months plus 40 free migrations. If we click on the pricing tab, we can see more details about the pricing. So if you come over here, you can see you get a free migration, a built-in firewall, free Object Cache Pro, which helps speed up your website, and free SSL certificates. And then they have 24/7, 365 days a week support. Okay, and then remember, Cloudways itself is not a hosting server. They are a hosting service. So they're a managed hosting service that provide a layer or an interface over the high performance servers. And these are the options that are available as of now, right? So they have DigitalOcean. You have the Vultr high frequency servers, which is my favorite option here. And then Linode, Amazon, and Google Cloud. So essentially, when you sign up for an account and you spin up a server, you can choose for your server to be one of these options. I typically choose the Vultr option here, and then you can choose the specifications for that server. So for instance, you have a 1 gigabyte specification with 1 core, 32 gigabytes, and 1 terabyte And your price for this special would be $9.60. Now, on the specification right here, you can actually host multiple websites. Technically, you can host an unlimited amount of websites, but then you'd probably be using this like a shared server. But that's the flexibility that it gives you. Now, the beauty of utilizing Cloudways is that you have the flexibility to increase your resources as needed. So just because you start at a 1 gigabyte specification, at any time, you can also increase it to 2 gigabytes, 4 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, and so on. Just depends on what you need. But the beauty of it is that you have the flexibility of being able to do that amongst the other benefits as well. And so if you need more space, more resources, need to host more websites, you can absolutely do it. In terms of the amount of websites you can host on each specification, it really depends on the needs of that website. So if you have a lot of low traffic, low bandwidth websites, then technically it's unlimited the amount you can host on each specification. But if you have websites that have more resource requirements, more traffic requirements, then it's really going to depend on that website. And you may not be able to host an unlimited amount of high resource websites on just a 1 gigabyte specification. So I hope that makes sense. And then take a look at the prices. The price here is $9.60 for the current special that's going on. But typically this is usually about $16 a month, which is still incredibly affordable for you to be able to have a server such as the Vultr server or Linode or any of the other ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up an account. Setting up an account is free. You get it free for 3 days, and then that way you can test out everything. And that's just plenty of time for us to build out a membership website, and you can see how Cloudways actually operates. To get started with Cloudways, just go over to your browser and type in cliftonwp.com/Cloudways, and that will take you to the Cloudways website. That is an affiliate link. So anything you purchase from the website will generate a small commission, which goes back to support the channel. Thank you very much in advance if you do that. And of course, it's not necessary for you to do that. You can always just go to cloudways.com and pick up a server there without the affiliate link. Now, once you get here, the good news is that you actually don't have to pay anything. There's no credit card required. Just go ahead and click on Start Free, and it'll take you to the area where you can go ahead and sign up for the account. And you can see over here where they're providing this offer of 40% off for 4 months plus 40 free migrations. I highly encourage you to take advantage of that. Now, all you need to do is just go ahead and fill in your name, email, password, and the rest of this information, and click on Start Free. And that will take you to your dashboard where you can go ahead and start selecting the server and installing your application. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So just go ahead and put in your name in the first field, last name, and then your email address. Select a password, okay? And here we'll just say digital agency, and then your monthly hosting span will go 0 to 50. Okay, the promo code is already in here. Agree to the terms, and then go ahead and click on Start Free. All right, so like everything else, it's going to ask you to go ahead and verify your email. So let's go ahead and verify the email. You'll get an email just like this, and then just go ahead and click on Login and Activate. Now that we've verified our email, next we're going to go ahead and verify our phone number. Okay, I've verified my phone number. Now let's go ahead and just walk through the dashboard of what you're looking at here. So once you signed up for your free account, now remember you're on a 3-day trial here, so there's no credit card required at this point. So here, what you're looking at is basically the setup for you to be able to go ahead and select a server that you're going to be working with. So remember, Cloudways is a hosting service, and they're providing you access to be able to utilize some of these really fast or super fast, super powerful servers to be able to host your website. Up here is the WordPress application that you're going to be setting up. So if you open this up here, you can see you have the WordPress, the latest version, multi-site, and then here's a WooCommerce version. And then here's a clean one with no Cloudways optimization. So we're going to go ahead and select that we want the latest version, which is 6.2.2. And then you're going to give your application a name. Okay, so in our case, I'm just going to give it the name of our project here, which is Built in WP. Okay, so maybe this is a membership website where everything in it is all about everything being built in WP. Okay, and then here you're going to give your server a name. So I can give it the name Built NWP. So that would be the server name. And then project name here, you can set up things as a project. You don't really need to fill this out unless you're creating separate projects. And you can always do this at a later time. Next, you need to select your server. Okay, so there are multiple servers that you can work with here. All right, so you have DigitalOcean, you have Vultr High Frequency. So Vultr High Frequency is probably one of the fastest servers out there. You have Linode. The one that I typically select is the Vultr server. Okay, I like the Vultr High Frequency. Now you can go to the actual Vultr website and check them out, but this allows you to be able to have an interface to be able to interact with this server. Okay, so I like the Vultr High Frequency, and then down here you're going to select your server size. So you have any size here that you want to utilize. Okay, now if you're doing a 1 gigabyte size server here, this is typically a good size for a staging website or a website that has very low traffic. Okay, later on, you can actually increase the amount of gigabytes that your server needs. Okay, now typically you want to be around here. If you have a high traffic website, it just depends on your needs. But because we're just getting started with our membership website, we really don't need to go and pick up a 4 gigabyte server size right now. We can just start with a 1 gigabyte server size. And you can see over here what the price will be after your trial ends. So it's just $16 a month, which is extremely affordable for a high frequency Vultr server. It's going to help load your website really, really fast. So again, I challenge anyone, go ahead, take your slowest site, drop it into Cloudways, even on this 1 gigabyte high frequency size, and then test it using a speed tool and see how fast your website becomes. You'll be absolutely blown away. You won't be disappointed. Okay. All right, great. So we're going to pick the 1 gigabyte server size. And then here for the location, you want to select the location that's closest to where you think your traffic is going to be coming from. For me, it's going to be mostly New York. And then everything else here looks great. Then all you need to do now is click on launch now. Okay, once you launch, it's going to be adding and setting up your server. And it says here your high-speed application will be ready in approximately 13 minutes. It typically takes a lot sooner than that, but we'll go ahead and wait for this to be able to load. And then we'll come back and continue with the hosting setup. Okay, so the server setup process is now complete and our server is now ready. Now, before we go any further, let's just do a quick walkthrough of the Cloudflare Control Center, and that way you know what everything is and where everything is. Okay, so what we're looking at right now is the server setup completion screen, and you can tell by the tab over here where it says servers. You do have the ability to have multiple servers, and they can even be hosted by multiple hosting providers. In this case, we're using Vultr High Frequency, but you could set up a new server and perhaps host that one on Linode if you want to. Okay, it really depends on you. Each server has the capability of hosting a multitude of websites, or you can just host one website. It really depends on how much resources you need for those sites. So for example, you could have one server that hosts 50 websites as long as those websites have low traffic and require very few resources. Conversely, you could also have a server that hosts one website, but maybe it has a high level of traffic and it also has a lot of activity. A good example would be an e-commerce website that maybe transacts 5 transactions per minute. Okay, you wouldn't want that website to be sharing a server with 50 other websites. You probably would want that to have its own server with its own resources. Okay, so you have the ability and the flexibility to be able to do that here at Cloudways. All right. The next tab over here are the applications that are on the server. So if you click on applications, you'll see here the WordPress application, all right, for the WordPress website we're going to be working with. So we set this up when we're setting up the server. So that means if you click on the link over here, it will take you to our WordPress, which is already installed with the default 2024 theme. So in here is where all the applications for all the servers you have will be listed. And similar to the servers, you can also add a new application or add multiple applications. Okay, so each server is capable of hosting multiple WordPress installs. Now let's go ahead and just navigate to the front end of the Cloudways Control Center. So if I click on this home key, it'll take me to the front end where at a glance I can see everything that I have very easily. Okay, so I can see here that I only have one server. I have one flexible application, which is a WordPress install, and I have 0 autonomous apps. And autonomous apps we'll talk about a little bit later, but It's just a different type of setting than flexible apps in terms of your traffic needs. Then down here, I can at a glance see my WordPress install, and I can go ahead and access it from here, or I can dive into the flexible apps here and access it from there as well. Same thing for the autonomous apps. On the left-hand side are just shortcuts to other aspects of your Cloudways server. So over here, if I were to go to this second icon here, I can see all my applications. I can access my servers, the archive, and any projects that I've set up. And then there's some quick actions here where I can go ahead and add an application or add a new server. The next icon has to do with checking out how many autonomous apps you have or setting up autonomous apps. And then the fourth one here are the add-ons that are available to you in Cloudways. And there are several that are available, everything from email to DNS and much more. Just click on the View All Add-ons link here, and you can see all the add-ons that are available. So everything from Cloudflare, Elastic Mail, Rackspace, and even malware protection is available here for you to be able to add on to your server. Okay. The final icon here has to do more with an interface that allows you to bill clients if you're providing hosting services through Cloudways. So you could technically purchase a number of servers here just to host websites for your clients, and then you could bill those clients for that service, and they have an interface that allows you to do that very easily, where you can set an invoice, everything is well organized, they can pay the invoice, and it keeps track of every single customer that you have that's using your hosting service through Cloudways. Okay. All right, let's go back to the front end here of the dashboard, and I'm going to click on View All Servers, and we can go ahead and take a look at our server. To manage the server, let's just go ahead and click on the server itself. Once you do that, you'll see all the settings to be able to manage the server. The first thing you'll see are the master credentials to the server. This is where you can access the IP address of the server, your username, and you can also be able to update your password for the server. The monitoring tab over here mainly has to do with the resources that are available on the server, and this is where you can come and monitor that. So you can see your RAM usage, you can see your CPU usage, and your disk usage. When you go under Manage Services, these are all the services that are currently running on your server. So everything from caching to MySQL is hosted over here. And if you ever needed to restart any of these or enable or disable them, this is where you would come to be able to do that. Under the settings and packages, this is where you can see the different execution limits, upload sizes, and memory limits for your server. If you go to the advanced tab, you can see your PHP settings. And then under the packages over here, this is where you can actually change your PHP versions. So right now it's set to PHP 8.1, but if for whatever reason your application needs to use 8.2 or 8.3 or 8.0, or you need to roll it back to 7.4, this is where you can come and make that modification. Then there is a security tab over here where under the overview, you can see any alerts or any security alerts for your server. You can also see any incidents that may have occurred on the server. You can also view your firewall and also shell access. The next tab is going to be your vertical scaling. So in the event that you determine that you need more resources for your website or your websites, then this is where you can come and scale up the service. So right now we are on the 1 gigabyte service here, where you get 1 gigabyte of RAM, 32 gigabytes of NVMe disk, a 1 terabyte transfer. But if you needed more, you can go ahead and just move the slider over and get more resources according to your needs. And then here we have a backups tab where you can back up the entire server. And then lastly is the SMTP service for you to be able to set up your SMTP service for email. Okay, so let's go back to all our servers. And now let's take a look at the applications. So the application that we have installed is WordPress, right? So you can have multiple applications installed in here. To access the settings for an application or to manage an application, just go ahead and click on the application itself. The first tab is going to be your access details for your WordPress install. Here's where you can get access to your application URL, the WordPress admin login, the database information, and access to the database manager. You can also set up your FTP credentials here as well. The next tab here is your staging management, where you can set up a staging version of your website to be able to test out new code, plugins, and themes without breaking your live site. Next is the monitoring for the site, where you can check out the analytics and the access and error logs. And then you also have the application security, where you can monitor incidents, check out your malware protection and vulnerability scanner. Then there's also domain management. This is where you'll be able to add your domain for the website. So right now we have this temporary domain, which is set to primary. When we add the actual domain, we'll set that domain to primary, and every time people visit that domain, your actual website will show up. We also have cron management. There's also SSL certificate for free via Let's Encrypt. And then you also have the ability to back up and restore the site from backup. You can actually take backups on demand, or the platform also has automatic backups as well for a period of time. There's deployment via Git. You also have the application settings, where you can access things like your WordPress settings, and you can toggle on and off different parts of WordPress. So like, for instance, this XML PRC access, you can actually disable this. It's already disabled by default, but if it weren't, you could disable it to prevent brute force attacks on your site. There's a migration tool over here to be able to migrate from another host to Cloudways. And then you also have a Cloudflare integration, and then save updates. So save updates allows you to be able to schedule and perform updates on your WordPress application themes and plugins at your own time. Okay, so that concludes the walkthrough of the server and the WordPress application. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and access WordPress and start the process of building out our membership website. Okay, to start working with our WordPress website, let's go ahead and click on the WordPress application. And from here, you can see your application URL. You can see your WordPress admin panel login URL, and then your username and password. If you click on the icon next to the admin panel URL, it will take you to the login page. And here you can put in your username and password and then begin working in WordPress. But what I like to do is I like to go ahead and connect my domain to my WordPress install, so that I can already have that connected to my Cloudways server and then build up my website from there. So let's go ahead and close this. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to add our domain to the Cloudways install, so that when we are going to the admin panel, we're actually going through the domain. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go to our Cloudways account. And from the home dashboard of your Cloudways account, if you're not at the home dashboard, you can just go ahead and click on Cloudflare after you've logged in. It will bring you here. And then click on the domain that you purchased or that you've connected to Cloudflare. And then once you get to this screen, if you look over here to the right, you'll see a link that says DNS records. Or if you look here to the left, you'll also see a tab that says DNS records. We're going to go ahead and click on that. To be able to connect your domain to your Cloudways server, what you'll need to do is add an A record from Cloudways to your DNS. So over here where it says DNS management for your domain, look over here to the right, you'll see where it says add record. We're going to go ahead and click on add record. And the first type of record you'll see is an A record. You can actually add different types of record, and we'll go over what all these mean a little bit later on if necessary. But the one we're looking for is the A record. Okay. The name that's required is going to be a root domain. We're just going to go ahead and put a @ right here. And then the IPv4 address that's required, we're going to need to get that from Cloudways, and it's very easy to find. Just go back to your Cloudways account. Make sure you're in your WordPress application. If you don't know where that is, that's basically under all applications. Click on the WordPress install that you set up. And what you're looking for is this IP over here. Just go ahead and copy it. Go back to your Cloudflare account where you were adding your DNS record. And in the section here, just go ahead and paste that in. Okay, once it is pasted in, then we can go ahead and click on save. And now you can see that the DNS record has been added to your domain. Okay, then we have another step to take. So let's make sure we just copy our domain here, which is builtinwp.com. Go ahead and copy that. We'll go back to Cloudways. And now what we want to do is we want to connect the domain here. So we're going to go to domain management in the menu items here. Click on domain management. And then we're going to click on add domain. You can see right here is asking you for the domain name. Just go ahead and click in the field there and paste in your domain, and then click on Save Changes. Once it's done saving the changes, you'll now see the domain here in the list. The next step is to make sure that this domain is our primary domain and not the temporary WordPress domain. So we're going to go ahead and click on the vertical ellipsis right next to our domain, and we're going to select Make Primary. It's going to let you know that it's going to set the domain that you've selected as the primary domain. So let's go ahead and click on Set as Primary. And then it just takes a moment to make that change. All right, now the change is completed. So by making it the primary, now this domain is what's going to lead us to our WordPress website. Now, one thing that you'll notice is that we added the domain without the www prefix in it. So one thing that I like to do is I like to add the www version of my domain as well to my Cloudways account. So to do that, we're going to follow the same steps, and we're going to add a different DNS record in our Cloudflare account. So I'm going to go back to Cloudflare, okay? And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add what's called a CNAME. So I'm going to click on Add Record, and under the record type, I'm going to select CNAME. And in this one, we're going to add a www here. And then the target is going to be our domain, which is builtinwp.com. Okay, so that means that when people type in a www before our domain, then it's going to redirect them to builtinwp.com. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And now that's been added in there as well. Okay, so now I can go back to my Cloudways account. Next, we're going to go ahead and install our SSL certificate so that our domain resolves with the HTTPS secure version of the domain and not the HTTP version. Okay, so we're going to go to SSL certificate. You want to make sure it's set to Let's Encrypt. We're going to add our email address, and then you're going to add in your domain name. And then click on Install Certificate. Okay, our SSL certificate has been successfully installed. So now when we go back to our access details, you can now see now that our domain name is now the application URL, and our admin URL now has our domain name in the URL prefix. Okay, so to go ahead and log in here, let's go ahead and copy our password. Let's go ahead and click on the icon over here. That's going to take us to the website login, add the password, login, and now we have access to WordPress. Okay, so now that we're in here, let's just go ahead and go to plugins and see if there are any plugins that were installed. So here we have the Breeze plugin, which is the WordPress caching plugin from Cloudways, and then we also have Object Cache Pro, which will allow us to have the business class Redis Object Cache backend for WordPress. It's going to add some speed to our website. The other two plugins we're not going to need here, so I'm going to go ahead and delete the Hello Dolly plugin, and we'll also delete the Akismet anti-spam plugin as well. We have a different solution for spam. Okay, so now you should only have the Breeze plugin and the Object Cache Pro plugin installed here, and then we're going to go to Settings. And here is our site. We'll just change this to Built in WP. And for now, we'll just say our tagline is build anything in WordPress easily. Okay. And we don't have our site icon yet, so that's fine. And then over here, we're going to change this to our time zone, which in my case is Los Angeles. Save those changes. Then we'll go to permalinks. Make sure that the permalinks are set correctly. Save the changes. Go to the front end of the website. Everything here looks good. And now we're ready to start building out our membership site. Hey, before we continue, if you are getting value from this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put that in the comment section below. I do read the comments and I do read your questions, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Also, if you are brand new to the channel, or if you already watch the channel but you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and remember to hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every time I release new tutorials such as this one. If you enjoy detailed step-by-step tutorials on WordPress and Kadence and other tools for building out websites, then you definitely want to stay subscribed to the channel so that you get notified every time I release a new video. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so before we start building out the membership website, let's talk a little bit about strategy here. So typically when you have a membership site, it's actually a good idea to have one site be your brand or your sales site and build your membership site on a subdomain of your main site. You typically don't want to have your membership content mixed in with your main site content or your marketing site content. And the reason for that is really because of resources and performance. You see, a lot of traffic is going to be driven to your marketing site where you're going to be basically selling your membership. And that traffic, some of it will convert. And when they convert, then if you have your membership content on the same site, then you're increasing the performance load and requirements on that site. So you'll have more concurrent users that are sharing the resources of your main branding site and your membership content. Whereas if you build a separate site for just to hold the membership content on a subdomain that's only accessible via login, then what happens is when people purchase your membership, then they access that content on the subdomain, thereby relieving the main site of any unnecessary traffic that would be there. Okay, it's just a better strategy, and we're going to do that exactly the same way in this video. We're going to do that exactly the same way in this video. So right now we're going to build the marketing front end part of the membership site. This is where all the sales material is going to go, all the marketing and branding and all that's going to happen on this particular site. It's really just going to be one page for this tutorial. We're not going to build out a full site. And then I'm going to show you how to set up a subdomain, okay, pointed to your server in Cloudflare. And then in that subdomain, we're going to build out all the membership components. So we're going to add the membership plugin. We're going to add our content in there, have the member dashboard, and then you'll see how we'll integrate the two so that it's a completely seamless experience. Okay, so in this step, we're going to build out the branding sales site for our membership website. So this is basically going to serve as the front end. This is where you're going to drive all your traffic to. This is not where you're going to store your membership content. That's going to go in a subdomain of this website. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the process of building out this site. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install the Kadence theme and Kadence blocks, because we'll need that to build out the site and basically customize it the way that we want. And we're going to build just a very simple site. It's only going to have a home page, and we're going to have the link areas. It's going to link to the membership site. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and navigate to the dashboard. We're going to go to Appearance, Themes, and we're going to click on Add New Theme. We're going to do a search for Kadence, and you'll see the Kadence theme over here. Let's go ahead and install it and activate. Okay, so now the Kadence theme is installed. If we go to the front end of the website, we'll now see that WordPress 2024 theme has been replaced by the Kadence theme. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the Kadence blocks plugin, which will allow us to build out our page. So I'm going to go to the dashboard again, go to plugins, click on Add New Plugin, and this time we're going to do a search for Kadence blocks. Here are the Kadence blocks. We're going to go ahead and click on Install Now and activate. Okay, so now Kadence blocks is installed. We now have everything that we need to go ahead and build out our home page. So I'm going to go over here to Pages. I'm going to click on Add New Page, and we'll just call this one our home page. I'm going to go ahead and set up the page. Just click on the settings icon here on the right hand side, and we're going to set the page title to disabled. The page layout will be full width. The content style will be unboxed, and the content vertical spacing will be disabled. Okay, let's go ahead and publish this. Okay, that's going to go ahead and save the page for us. Then I'm going to navigate back to the dashboard. Just click on the WordPress icon here on the far left. We're going to go to Settings, and under Settings, we're going to go to Reading. Under the Reading tab here, we're going to select under the Your Home Displays, we're going to select that we want a static page, and the home page is going to be set to that home page that we just created. We'll click on Save Changes, and if we navigate to the front end, we now have a clear canvas to be able to build out our home page for our membership website. Okay, so for our membership homepage, we're going to build something that's really simple. It's just something to be able to promote the membership. What's also going to be important is we have links to the membership sign up and the membership sign in for the members that already have access to the membership site. And this membership homepage is going to have a header. It's going to have content for the body of the page, and then we can add whatever we need to the footer. Okay, so let's start with the header. Okay, to create the header, we're going to be utilizing the advanced header / navigation block from Kadence blocks. So we'll create a custom header to go along with our membership homepage. So to do that, just go ahead and navigate over to the admin toolbar, hover over the name of the site, and then from the menu that appears, click on dashboard. And then in the side menu here, hover over the Kadence link, and from the flyout menu that appears, go ahead and click on headers. Okay, and then from this page, we're going to go ahead and select add new Kadence header. That's going to take us through the wizard to be able to create your custom header. Okay, so from here, we're going to go ahead and change this name here. Let's call this our primary custom header. And then for the description of this header, we're going to use the name as the description. Let's go ahead and click on the next button here. Now it's asking us to select our desktop layout. You have the option to create it from scratch or use one of the presets that are available here. Let's go ahead, in the interest of time, utilize the presets. I'm going to go ahead and select the basic 1 preset. And then the next part of the wizard here is to go ahead and select our tablet / mobile layout. And you can also create that from scratch or utilize a preset, and we're also going to use a preset in this section as well. So I'm going to select the mobile 2 preset. Now we are in the header builder interface where we can go ahead and create our custom header using the block editor. Okay, if I select the header itself in the block editor, if you look down here to the bottom, you'll see a button that says Open Visual Builder. If you click on this, you'll see the visual representation for the header. This contains the rows and sections and areas where you can add blocks to build out your header visually. Okay, so we have a top row, we have a middle row, and we have the bottom row. With the middle row currently being in use with the site identity block, the navigation block from Kadence blocks, and the buttons block. Okay, up here in the block editor itself, you also have those items. So we have the site identity, which is going to be your logo and tagline. We have a placeholder for our navigation. And then we have the buttons, which are serving as calls to action. To make changes to these, we're going to go ahead and just start with the logo. So if you click on the logo placeholder, you'll see an icon that's requesting that you upload an image. If you look over here to the right, you'll also see a button to be able to add your logo. Okay, so I can just click here on the placeholder itself, click on select files, and in your computer, find a suitable logo and go ahead and upload that to your media library. Once the logo is in place, feel free to add some alt text, click on select, and now you can see our logo is now in place. If we look over to the right, we can increase the width of the logo. So currently at 120, it's a little bit small. So I'm going to go ahead and increase this to 148. It's too big, 148. There we go. Okay, next, let's go ahead and take care of the navigation. So this is just a placeholder navigation. It's not a real navigation. If you click on it, you'll then be taken to the first step in accessing the navigation builder. So the first field here is to go ahead and make a selection, but we don't have a navigation to select from. So we're going to go ahead and click on Create New. Okay, and now we're going to be in the navigation builder interface. If we look over here to the left, you can see the desktop orientation. And by default, it's going to set it to horizontal. Okay, and we're going to leave it at horizontal. That's just fine. Then the next option is the tablet orientation, and that's also set to horizontal. But in this case, we actually want to set it to vertical. And the reason why we're doing that is because the tablet and mobile navigation is going to be appearing in an off-canvas section when you click on the trigger to be able to see the menu. So we want that to be going from top to bottom instead of left to right. Okay. And then here on the left-hand side, you can see any posts that you have if you want to add those to the menu, any pages that are currently on the site if you want to add those to the menu. Okay, and then over here on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and give your navigation a name. So let's actually call this our primary custom navigation. And then below here is where you'll build out your menu. So we're not going to be adding any pages because we don't have any pages currently. So we're going to go ahead and use custom links. So just click on the custom link button, and that'll give you an interface here to go ahead and add a custom link. So you have a label for the link and then a URL field for that link. So our first link is going to be called membership. And maybe this is just where you explain the benefits of your membership, and we'll go ahead and add a hashtag because we don't have a link right now. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and click on custom link again, and let's just add a couple more navigation links here. So the next one can be tutorials. We'll add a hashtag. Let's add another one. We'll call this resources. Add a hashtag, and maybe we want to have a blog as well. So let's just add a blog hashtag there. All right, so far this looks good. I'm happy with the way this looks. Let's go ahead and click on done editing, and we can now see all of our menu items here in the navigation. If you look over here to the right, you can further customize the navigation. For instance, I would like to have more space between the items here in my navigation. So over here where it says horizontal item spacing, I'm going to change the unit here to rems, and we're going to just add a 1 here, which will create some more space there. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and take care of the call to action. So the call to action, if you notice these 2 buttons here, one of them is well highlighted. I want this one to actually say join the membership. And then the second call to action, I want this one to say sign in. And I'm also going to add an icon to this one. So while I have the button selected, I'm going to move over to the right, go to style, and we're going to scroll down and look for the icon settings. In the icon field, we're going to go ahead and click in it, and we'll do a search for login. And I'm going to use this login icon. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the desktop view of the custom header we're building for the site. Another thing I may want to do is I may want to add a little bit more spacing to the background here. So I'm going to go ahead and select the header itself, move over to the right. So I have that header row selected, go to advanced, and for the top padding, let's just add an XXS, so extra small to the top and also to the bottom. Okay. All right, this looks good. Okay, next we need to go ahead and take care of the tablet/mobile view and the off canvas trigger as well. To do that, I'm going to move down here to the visual builder, and I'm going to move from the desktop over to the tablet/mobile view by selecting the tablet/mobile tab. Okay, so in here I can see what this is going to look like on a tablet. My logo will be on the left, and the off canvas trigger will be here on the right. Let's just go ahead and navigate over to the off canvas trigger. So I'm going to click on the off canvas tab, and now we can see the off canvas section here. So this is what will appear when you click on the off canvas trigger. Okay. To make changes here, all your blocks can be added from this link over here and then customized within this section over here. Okay. To make changes to any of the styling for your off canvas trigger, you just simply need to select this cogwheel, and all the off canvas settings are here on the right hand side. Now it does come with a placeholder navigation, which we're not going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it to be able to take me through the process of either creating a new navigation or selecting one that we already have created. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the one that we've already created, and you can click on this field here and notice that there is nothing there. And that's because even though we have created a custom navigation, we actually haven't saved the custom header, so it doesn't recognize that we've done that yet. So to make sure that it appears here in the navigation wizard, we're going to go ahead and save our work. Just click on the save button here. And once it's saved, if you click on the make selection field, you'll see our primary custom navigation. Let's go ahead and select that, and then we'll click on select, and our navigation is now in place. I'm going to move over here to the right, and we're going to go to the style here, and there are divider settings. I would like to place a divider between each item. Just make sure that you have the tablet icon selected here. We're going to add a 1 pixel divider, and we want something that's pretty light, so nothing too prominent. Okay. Next, we want to add our call to action buttons. To do that, just go ahead and click on add block down here in the visual builder. We're going to do a search for buttons, and we want the Kadence advanced buttons from Kadence blocks. And our first button is going to say joined the membership. Okay. And then here on the right hand side, we can style the button. To style the button, let's just go ahead and make this button a small button size because of the area where it is. And then we also want to go to the style tab. We're going to go to typography settings, and I'm going to set the letter case to all caps. All right, I'm pretty happy with this button. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second button for the sign in. So to do that, I can just select this button, click on the vertical ellipsis, and click on the duplicate option. And from here, we're going to go ahead and change this language here to sign in. Okay, and now I can go ahead and style this button as well. I'm going to move over here to the right. I want this to be an outline button. So I'm just going to select outline from the button styles. And then I also want to add an icon. So I'm going to click on style, navigate down to icon settings, click on the select icon field, and we're going to do a search for login. And here we're going to select this login icon. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to see how this looks on a mobile device. Remember, we're actually doing this on a tablet device. So if you look over here, you can see the tablet is highlighted. What happens when we highlight the mobile phone size? So I'm going to select that, and I can see over here, when we select the mobile phone size, the information here is a little bit jumbled. So we can go ahead and fix that. We're going to start with the navigation. I'm going to go ahead and select the navigation, move over to the right, click on the View Navigation Settings. We're looking for the orientation. Under the orientation, click on the field here, and we're going to set this to vertical. Okay. Then next, we're going to take care of the buttons. So I'm going to select the buttons block here. What we're going to do here is, because since the space is limited, we're going to go ahead and set these buttons to be full width. So to do that, you actually select each button. So I'm going to select the first button, move over to the right, select that I want it to be full. Select the sign in button, move over to the right, make sure you're under the general tab, and under the button width, we're going to select that to be full. Okay, so now this actually looks pretty good for our mobile phone. So let's just make sure we travel through each viewport. So this is our mobile device, or like a cell phone. This is our tablet, and how it's going to look on a tablet. And this is how it's going to look on our desktop. Okay, so everything looks good. So desktop looks great. Tablet looks great. Off canvas looks awesome. All right, so now we are done building out our custom header. We're going to move over here to the right, click on the blue save button, make sure to save the work. And then now we're going to navigate out of this by clicking in the corner here on this WordPress icon. And from here, you can go to Appearance, go to Customize to open up the customizer. It'll take us to the front end with the customizer opened. We're going to go to the header, and here at the very bottom here, we're going to toggle on the block header. So enable block header, so toggle that on. And then from here, we're going to select the primary custom header we just created. That's going to go ahead and place our header right on the page. Click on publish. Let's view the front end of the website. And now our custom header is in place. Next, we're going to go ahead and add our content to the body of the homepage for our membership website. Okay, so let's start with the hero section on the homepage that's going to clearly state what our membership website has to offer. So from here, I'm going to navigate over to the admin toolbar, and I'm going to click on edit page. That's going to take me to the editing interface for this page. And from here, right at the block line, I'm going to type a / and type the word row. And I'm going to select the row layout from Kadence blocks. I'm going to select that I want this to be a 1-column row. Then I'm going to immediately select the row. And here in the short menu, I'm going to set the alignment to full width. And then the inner content width is going to set a custom content max width of 960 pixels. Then I'm also going to select the row again, and I'm just going to visually increase the padding on the top to 5x large and the padding on the bottom to 5x large as well. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and start adding my text to this section. So the first piece of text we're going to add is going to be our unique selling proposition, and that's going to be learn how to build any website using WordPress. So we're going to click on the plus sign here, and I'm going to add a text block. I'm going to go ahead and center this text block, and just go ahead and put in the words learn how to. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and make some changes to this. The first thing that I want to do is I'm going to change the designation from an H2, and we'll just make this a div. Then I'm going to move over here to the right, and for the letter case, this is going to be a uppercase piece of text. And then I'm going to click right at the end of those words and hit the enter key, do a /, and I'm going to select that I want the text block from Kadence again. This time, this is going to be an H1 tag. And I'm going to go ahead and center this. And this is going to say, build any website with WordPress. Let's actually make that more clear. We're going to say build any type of website. So any type of website with WordPress. Okay, so this looks good. Now what I want to do is go ahead and customize this text. I'm going to move over to the right-hand side here, and I'm going to set this to 2XL. That looks big enough. It's great. And then here for the line height, I'm going to change this to rems, and we're going to add, let's say 4.8 as a line height for this. I also notice there's a considerable amount of spacing here. So I'm going to select the text, move over to the right, go to advanced, and right here where you have the margin, I notice some default margin here. I'm going to go ahead and zero this out. Okay. And under the style tab, under line height, let's just make this 5 rems. Next, I want to add a small description right underneath this. So I'm going to hit the enter key. Let's go ahead and do a /, look for the text block from Kadence. Here it is right here. And we go ahead and center this. This is going to be a paragraph. So I'm going to change the designation from an H2 to a paragraph. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste in my description text. I do think it's a little bit too long, so I would like to make this a little bit more narrow. So I'm going to select the text, move over to the right, go to the General tab, and here where it says max width, I'm going to shrink this to about 700 pixels. Okay, and now that looks a little bit more balanced. All right, then the other thing that I want to do here is I want to make sure that the spacing here and the spacing here are nice and even. So what I want to do is I want to bring this up slightly. My toolbar here is blocking some of the spacing here. So what I want to do, go to this vertical ellipsis, and I'm going to click on toolbar. That's going to move the toolbar up to the top over here so I can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to select the text again. And now that I've zeroed this out, so we did zero that out, there's still some spacing here. I'm going to select the upper text here, move to advanced, go to the bottom here, and also zero that out. That's going to bring it a little bit closer. Now I can control how much spacing I can have between the two segments of text. So I'm going to go ahead and just move this down just a little bit like that. Maybe extra small is enough. And then here on the top, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so now we have even amount of spacing there. That looks great. Next, what I want to do is go ahead and add a call to action button there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the last word of that last sentence, hit the enter key, do a /, and we're going to look for buttons. You can start typing the words buttons. I can already see the Kadence advanced buttons here, so I'm going to select that. It's going to give me a button here, and the call to action text is going to say join the membership. And just to make it more interesting, let's go ahead and add a second button that's going to offer a free trial. So I'm going to go ahead and select this button here. And maybe up here where we have the toolbar now, I'm going to click on the plus sign. And from here, we're going to say start free trial. Okay, and then right after this one, I like to add an icon. So I move over here to the right, click on style, go to the icon settings. I'm going to search for arrow here in the icon field. And let's select a nice long arrow like that one. Okay, that looks great. The other thing that I want to do is I also want to make sure that this is an outline. So I'm going to select it, move back over to the right, go to the General tab, and we're going to select the outline. Okay, so the outline. And that way we're emphasizing that this is the more prominent button here. Okay. All right, our hero section looks great. Let's go ahead and save our work and see what that looks like on the front end. Okay, that looks good. Next, let's go ahead and add the rest of the sections. Okay, so let's go back to edit page. And then from here, we'll create a new block line right underneath the row that we just created. And we're going to do a search for row layout. So let's do a /, type the words row, select the row layout block from Kadence. And this time we're going to have a 2-column row. I'm going to select the row, and then I'm going to set the alignment to full width, and then the inner content width. We'll use a theme content inner width in this case. And then similar to the top, I'm going to go ahead and give this 5x large padding on the top, 5x large padding on the bottom. And what I want to do in this one is I want to add text on the left and an image on the right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the text. Okay, so I'm going to click in the first column here, and I'm looking for a text block from Kadence blocks. So I'm going to select this one here, and let's go ahead and paste in our heading text. Then I'm going to hit the enter key, do a /, and now select a text block from Kadence again. And for this one, this time it's going to be a paragraph. So I'm going to go ahead and change the designation up here to paragraph, and then we'll go ahead and paste in our text for the paragraph. Okay, there it is. And then next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some bullet points. So I'm going to hit the enter key, do a /, and we're going to grab an icon list. So just do a search for icon list. You'll see the icon list block from Kadence. Click on that. Okay, so now we can add some bullet points in here. Okay, now our bullet points are in place. Let's just go ahead and format this a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and select the list block over here. Click on View Block Settings so you can get the entire icon list container. And then what we're going to do here, go to the General tab, and we're going to make sure that we align the icon to the top. Okay, and then we also want to change that icon. So I'm going to go over to Style, click on the icon field here, and I want to put a sad face here because this portion is talking about the frustrations that people may be having with wanting to build websites in WordPress. So we can do sad face. No, there's nothing for that. Let's do a smile. Let's do a frown. There we go. So we get a frown face for these over here to better relate to our audience. Okay, so after the icon block here, make sure I select the View Icon List, and then I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis, click on Add After, and then we'll add a final paragraph of text. So I'm going to do a /, type the words text, select the Kadence text block, change this to a paragraph, and then go ahead and add my text. All right, so now that looks pretty good. Next, I want to go ahead and add an image to the right-hand side. So I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to select the Advanced Image block from Kadence. Click on Select Image, and we'll upload files. And I already have an image here that I want to use, so I'm just going to drag that in here. Okay, so here's our image. Click on Select. All right, so the image here is a little bit long. So what I want to do is I want to format this a little bit. So I'm going to move over here to the right, and here where it says use fixed ratio instead of image ratio, I'm going to go ahead and toggle that on. Okay, so immediately it's going to reduce the image for me, placing it in a landscape 4 and 3 landscape. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I want her face to be more in view. So right here on the image representation, I'm going to click on this circle and just move it up to right where her forehead is, maybe a little bit higher. All right, so now she's more in view. Okay, now that looks pretty good. The other thing that I want to do is I'm going to go to the Style tab over here, and here where it has a border radius, I'm going to go ahead and unify the edges, and we'll give it a border radius of 8 pixels. Okay, it's going to round out the corners for me, soften up the image for me. And then for the image filter, I'm going to change the filter here to a grayscale. All right, now that looks great. Okay. All right, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. I do want a little bit of spacing, more spacing between the image and the content here. So I'm going to select the entire row, move over here to the right, and here where it says column gutter, I'm going to change that to a large. Okay, it's going to give me a little bit more space. Okay, so this looks pretty good, but I do want to format this icon list just a little bit more so that it's a little bit more distinct. So I'm going to go ahead and select the list. I'm going to go ahead and select the icon list here, move over to the right, select the View Parent Block Settings, and what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of vertical spacing between the list here. So let's go ahead and just change this from 5, and let's make it 10 to create some more space, or maybe 12. A little bit, yeah, so there's a little bit more space between each list item. Then the other thing that I want to do is I want to indent this list a little bit. So I'm going to select the individual list itself, so just by clicking on it. And over here you can see there's an indent icon in the short menu. So just go ahead and click on that and then apply that to all the other ones as well. Okay, so now it looks a little bit more distinct, kind of separated from what we have as main paragraphs and the list icon list itself. Okay, great. This now looks really good. I'm very happy with it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next section. So in this section, we're related to the frustrations that our potential members may be having with building websites in WordPress. Next, we're going to present them with a solution. So I'm going to go ahead and select that row again, and then here with the vertical, click on the vertical ellipsis, click on Add After. That's going to give me a new block line. I'm going to do a /, type the words row, select the row layout from Kadence blocks, and this time I'm going to select a 1 column row. I'm going to go ahead and select the row, set the alignment to full width, And then for the inner content width, we're going to just use the theme's inner content width in this case. Okay. And then same thing, I'm going to extend this to 5x large, give it some nice breathing room there. And then from here, I'm actually going to click on the plus sign and add another row layout in here because I want to stack a couple of bits of content in here. So I'm going to add another row layout. This time it's going to be a 2-column row. Okay. And for this 2-column row, I want to have some text on the right-hand side this time and an image on the left-hand side. So let's start with the image. I'm going to go ahead and click on the plus sign, add an image block from Kadence blocks, click on select image. I'm going to go to upload files. I already have an image that I want to use. Add that image. Okay, we'll insert the image in here. And then same thing, I want to select the image, move over here to the right, use the fixed ratio instead of the image ratio, keep it at the same landscape 4 and 3. And then what I want to do in this case is go to the Style tab, unify the edges under the border radius, and set this to 8 pixels, just like we did to the previous image. All right, next I'm going to go to the image filter, and we're going to set this to grayscale as well. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and add our text. So the text we're going to add is going to be a more solutions-oriented text. So I'm going to click on the plus sign, select the text block from Kadence, and then go ahead and paste in my text. Okay, there's our text. And then I'm going to hit the Enter key, do a /, add another text block. This time, this is just going to be a little bit of a description. So for this one, we're going to set the H2 designation. We're going to change that to paragraph, and then go ahead and add in our descriptive text. All right, and then next we're going to add some bullet points to highlight our solution. So I'm going to click on the Enter key, but this time, instead of creating a whole new list again, I'm just going to scroll up here, grab this list. So just select this whole list, move over to the right, click on View Parent Block Settings to be able to select the entire container, click on the vertical ellipsis, copy, come down here, click on the block line, and paste. So now we have the same identical list, but now we're going to change the content of the list. But I'm going to start by changing these frown faces into smiley faces. So I'm going to move over to the right here. It's already set up for me under the Style tab for the icon list. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to type the word smile, and we want this to be smiley faces. Okay, now we're going to change all this text to be some more solutions-oriented text. There's our first text. And our second. We don't need this third one, so I'm going to select it here. Click on the vertical ellipsis and delete. Okay, great. I'm going to click on the View the Parent Block Settings again to select the entire block. Click on the vertical ellipsis, add after. It's going to give me a new block line, and here I'm going to add some closing text. Okay, excellent. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a call to action below all of this. So I'm going to select the row. So I'm selecting that inner column row that I selected. So if we open this up in list view, I am selecting not this row here, but this inner row that we created here. And then from here, you can click on the vertical ellipsis here, click on add after, and that's going to give us a block line right below that row. And what I want to do here is add a call to action for them to go ahead and join the membership, right? So instead of creating this from scratch, I'm just going to scroll up here, select this call to action, click on the vertical ellipsis, copy it, come back down here, click in the new block line, and paste by pressing Command V if you're on a Mac, or Control V if you're on a PC. Okay. All right. So this looks pretty good. I do want to give this a little bit of spacing, so I'm going to move over to the right, click on Advanced, and right over here where it has margin, let's go ahead and add a small space there. All right, so now this section is now complete. And as you can see, our home page is coming together quite nicely. Similar to this section here, let's go ahead and apply similar spacing to this row between the image and the text. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the row that contains the image and the text. Move over here to the right. And for the column gutter, I'm going to set that to large. Okay, so now we have uniform sections here. Okay, next let's go ahead and add a how it works section. This is typically a section where you're stepping the site visitor through some steps to get to the desired result that they're looking for. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and add a row right below the section we just created. So that'll be right over here at this new block line. Click on the block line, do a /, type the words row, and we're going to select the row layout. And then from here, we're going to select that we want a 1-column row, and we want this row to have a full width, and the inner content width, we're just going to use the inner content width of the theme. And then I'm going to visually increase the padding to 5x large on top, 5x large on the bottom. And I do want to create some separation between the two, but just something to indicate that this is a separate section. So I'm going to click on the plus sign here, and I'm going to do a search for divider. We're going to select the spacer / divider from Kadence. I'm going to move over here to the right, and from here we're going to set the divider width to 10%, and then the color, I want this to be a little bit darker color, so let's select medium text as our dark color, and then the divider style is going to be dashed. All right, now I'm going to select this divider, click on the vertical ellipsis and select add after. I'm going to do a /, and we're looking for the text block from Kadence blocks, which is right over here. Let's go ahead and center that, and for this one we'll just say how it works. I'm going to hit the enter key, /, select the text block. This time I'm going to change the designation to a paragraph. Go ahead and center it, and then we'll just add some descriptive text here. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and add our 3 simple steps right below it. So I'm going to hit the enter key, do a /, type the words row. We're going to select the row layout for this, and I want a 3-column row layout. Inside of each column, we're going to add an info box. So click on the plus sign, and you'll see the info box here from Kadence. If you don't see it, just go ahead and do a search for info, and you'll see the info box. We'll select an info box, and let's go ahead and customize this box. So I'm going to select the box, move over here to the right. For the text alignment, I want that all to be on the left-hand side. And then up here, I'm going to go to the Style tab, and I'm going to look for the media settings, which is over here. Select the media setting, and for the media alignment, I want this to be aligned to the left, and then the vertical alignment for that media will be at the top. The media type is actually going to be a number, and over here we're going to go ahead and change this to the number 1. Okay, the size, we're going to set that to 30 pixels. Let's add a background to the number here. So I'm going to click on the number background color selector. We're going to use our highlight color, and then the number color itself, so the actual number itself, will be white. And then we're also going to set the number border color to be the same color as the background. Okay. All right, there's a little bit of spacing here. It's a lot of space, so I do want to eliminate that space. So below here we have the media margin. The left has a 15 pixel margin there. Let's go ahead and zero that out. Okay, so now we're just using the margin of the actual container, which is about 20 pixels. Okay, so far this looks good. I'm going to move up here to the number border radius, and we'll give it a border radius of 100. That'll give us a nice little circle. And then I also think I want the number to be a little bit smaller. So let's change the size from 30 pixels to 25 pixels, or maybe even 24 pixels. Okay, there we go. That looks good. Okay, so now that we have our info box set up, let's go ahead and add some content to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a title. I'm gonna move over here to the right, and right under the media settings are the title settings. So open up the title settings here. And from here, I'm going to reduce the size here. I'm going to change the tag to an H3, and I want the font size to be a medium. Okay. All right. That looks a lot better. Okay. So now I'm happy with the info box here. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and I'm going to duplicate it twice. So just click on the vertical ellipsis, click on duplicate, and then using the drag icon, let's just go ahead and drag it over to the adjacent columns. Next, we will go ahead and add the number 2 for the second step here, and 3 for the third step. And then we just need to change the content here so that it's different content in each step. Okay, so now that we have our content in place, I do want all of the info boxes to have the same height. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the row that contains the info boxes themselves. Make sure that row is selected, move over here to the right, go to advanced, and under structure settings, I'm going to go ahead and select the inner column height at 100%. Next, I'm going to go ahead and select the first info box, move over to the right, click on advanced, and here is a toggle to set the height to 100%. You'll notice that there's a note here that says this will only work if the parent container is set to a height or you are in a row layout with 100% inner block height. That's why we set that row layout to the inner block height of 100%. Okay, so let's go ahead and toggle this on, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other info boxes as well. Under the Advanced tab, set height to 100%. So now everything is even with the containers. Next, let's add 2 more sections. We're going to add a testimonial section, and then we're also going to add a pricing table section as well. And we'll utilize the help of the design library to go ahead and complete our page. The 2 remaining sections we're going to add to our membership website homepage are going to be a testimonial section and a pricing table section. So to do that, we're actually going to go to the design library, even though we could build this from scratch. But just to speed up our process here, we're going to utilize the Kadence design library to add those sections. So over here in the blog editor, here you'll see the design library button. Just go ahead and click on that. And in here, you'll see all the preset designs for different sections that you can add to your website. Okay. Over here under the categories, I'm going to go ahead and select the testimonials category. And here you'll see all the testimonials sections that you can add to your site. Let's just add something really simple like this one. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. And now that testimonial section has been added to the site. Okay, I'm going to scroll down and click on the new block line here. Click on Design Library. This time I'm going to go to the pricing table, and from here I'm going to select a pricing table. So we can have either a 2-column one, or we can have a 3-option one. So depending on the offering that you're going to be making for your membership website, typically there's either a 2 or 3 option. Let's go ahead and select the 3 option here. So let's go ahead and select this one, pricing table 2. And now that's now added to our site. And then you can just go ahead and fill this in with your membership details and then add your testimonials here. Okay. But at this point, we are completed with our membership homepage. So let's just go ahead and adjust some settings here in terms of the padding and the way this looks. I want to extend this to be 5x large, give it some really nice breathing room. Okay, so everything looks uniform and balanced. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and save the work. And we view this on the front page. Okay, so now we have our membership website homepage. So here's our unique selling proposition, frustrations, solutions, how it works, some testimonials, and a pricing table. Next, what we're going to do is we're now going to go ahead and transition over to the actual membership site itself, where your members, once they sign up, once they join the membership, or existing members when they sign in, they can go ahead and access the content for your membership site. So now that we've completed the front-facing websites, this is our brand site or our sales site for our membership website, we're now actually going to build out our membership portal. And the best way to be able to do this is actually to build it on a separate WordPress install. Again, the reason you want to do this is because most likely you're going to be driving traffic to this website, and all your sales messaging, all your previews are probably going to be on this site. But when it comes to actually logging in and accessing the content that you're going to be providing to your members, you really want that on a separate install so that it has its own resources. And that way, when you have concurrent users that are logged in, they're able to have a much better and faster experience without having to share the bandwidth resources with people that are just visiting your website and not necessarily accessing the resources you have in your membership site. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go back to our host or our hosting service, which is Cloudways. And this is one of the areas where Cloudways is very powerful for building out membership websites. Okay, so initially we did set up an account here, and that's where our current website, which is the built-in wp.com website, is hosted. Now we're going to build our membership site right next to it and have it on a completely separate application. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to log into my Cloudways account. Now, once logged in, I'm going to go to my server, and here I have a couple of options. I can add another server and have my membership website on a completely separate server, or I could add another application and have it in 2 separate applications. One of the things that's great about Cloudways is that no matter which route you take, you can always clone a server. So here where we have these vertical ellipses, I can click here And I can clone this entire server if I want to. Or you can also go to the applications and you can clone an application. So since this is the beginning stages of our membership website, I'm just going to create another application. And then when I find that my traffic is increasing, or maybe prior to launch, if I do need another server, it's very easy for me to come over here and just set up another server and move that application to another server. And maybe we'll demonstrate that, but that might be something for a different tutorial. But for now, what's important is that you want to have some separation between the brand install of WordPress and the membership install. Okay, so once we've logged in here, we're going to go to applications. I'm going to click on add application. Okay, it's going to ask me to select a server in the event that you have multiple servers. I only have one, so I'm going to select the one that I have, which is built-in WP. I'm going to click on add application. Okay, and then from the drop down, we're going to select that we want WordPress. And the application name, this time, I'm going to call it Members Built in WP. Okay, and we'll leave this alone. Go ahead and click on Add Application. Okay, the application installation has now completed, and you can tell because you can see the number 2 here next to the applications installed on this server. So if I go over here to Applications, I'm going to see my front-facing website, and here is going to be my membership install. So if we go ahead and click on the icon over here, we can see that we have a fresh install of WordPress for our membership website. Okay, all right, next what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and start to work on this by connecting a domain to it, and then going ahead and installing our membership tools to be able to convert this into a full-blown membership site. And then finally, we'll connect this site to our front-facing website so that when people access the front-facing, they can go ahead and log into this site from the front-facing website. Our next step is now to go ahead and connect a subdomain to our membership install. Okay, so right now we have the application URL as this temporary one, and we're going to go ahead and change that. To do that, you need to access your Cloudflare account or wherever you have your domain registered. In my case, it's Cloudflare. And I'm going to go to login here. And then what I need to do is I need to access the DNS for the main domain. So the main domain is builtinwp.com. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Then over here on the left-hand side, I'm going to click on DNS. And here is the DNS for my domain. So what I want to do is I want to add a subdomain here. Okay. So to be able to do that, I'm going to add a record. So it's going to click on add record. And we want this a record here. And the name is actually going to be members. Okay. And then for the IP address, we're going to utilize the IP address here. So if we go back to our install, you can see the IP address here. Just go ahead and copy this, go back to your DNS, and we're going to add that in here. Okay. And once we're done with that, just go ahead and click on save. So now we have this members and it leads here. And then what you'll be able to do now is you can type in members.builtinwp.com and it will take you to that install. So let's go back to our host at Cloudways, which is over here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our domain management, click on add domain, and now we can go ahead and add the domain. So this time it's going to be members.builtinwp.com, and we'll click on save changes. Okay, so now our domain has been successfully added. Then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and assign this as the primary domain, and that's going to allow the temporary domain to be the alias. So I'm going to move over here to the vertical ellipsis right next to the subdomain, click on the vertical ellipsis, then select make primary. I'm going to click on set as primary, and the domain will be updated. Okay, our subdomain has now been assigned as the primary domain successfully. So now if we go to the access details, you'll see it over here now as the application URL. The other thing that we want to do is we also want to make sure that we have an SSL certificate here so that our users can access our membership site securely. So I'm going to click on SSL certificate. We're going to use the free Let's Encrypt SSL certificate. Go ahead and add your email address. And then in here, we're going to add our domain, which is members.builtinwp.com. Click on install certificate. Okay, our SSL certificate has been installed successfully. So now when we go to the access details And if we were to go ahead and visit this URL, this members.builtinwp.com, you'll see now that it loads our WordPress install. Okay. Now we're ready to go ahead and start building out the membership protected content component of our membership website. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the login credentials for our members website to actually log into the install and begin building out the membership components. So I'm going to go back to my Cloudways account, and under the access details for the members.builtinwp.com membership site, I'm going to go to the admin panel, and what I'm looking for is a login URL, my username and password. I'm going to copy the password and then click the arrow here to go to the login page. From here, we're going to enter our username and password and log in. All right, so now we're in the dashboard. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to settings, and I'm going to change this to, say, built in WP member site. Okay, and we can just use the tagline for now. And then just set the time zone to your time zone and save the changes. Then I'm going to go to permalinks just to make sure the permalinks are correct. Save changes, they are correct. Okay, so now I'm ready to begin installing a theme and the plugins. The first thing I'm going to do is install the Kadence theme because I want this to be built on the Kadence theme. So I'm going to go to Appearance, Themes, click on Add a New Theme. I'm going to do a search for Kadence, and here's the Kadence theme. Click on Install and Activate. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and install the Kadence blocks. So I'm going to come over here to Plugins, click on Add a New Plugin. I'll do a search for Kadence blocks. Here are the Kadence blocks. Click on Install Now and Activate. Okay, so now we have Kadence blocks installed, and I'm going to remove the plugins that I don't need. Now when I view the front end of the website, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, that looks great. Next, let's go ahead and add our logo to the website. So I'm going to come over here, go to Customize, go to Header, Logo, select Logo, and we'll go ahead and upload our logo that we had from before. Okay, so now we have the basics in place. Now we're going to start installing our plugins to control our membership. Okay, so when it comes to membership solutions for your membership websites, there is definitely no shortage of plugins and tools that you can use to build out a membership site. But for this tutorial, the one that I'm going to recommend you utilize is a membership plugin called Paid Memberships Pro. Now, if you haven't heard about Paid Memberships Pro is a plugin that's been around for a little over 13 years. And it's a very, very powerful plugin. And the reason I typically recommend this plugin is that, one, it's very easy and quick to set up and get a membership site going. Two, it provides everything that you need in order for you to build out your membership site. Okay, so a lot of the things you need to do manually, it pretty much takes care of. Three, it's very compatible with Gutenberg and WordPress, or even if you're using a different page builder, they've accounted for all of that. And then the other part of it is because they've been around for so long, they have a ton of resources on being successful with membership sites. The website to acquire this is paidmembershipspro.com. The plugin is no longer available in the WordPress repo. However, the plugin is still available for free, and there are paid add-ons as well. Okay, so you can go to their website at paidmembershipspro.com and read all about them. But let me show you how to get the plugin itself. First thing that I want to point out, though, is that with Paid Memberships Pro, one of the reasons why it's actually a highly sought after membership plugin is that if you go to the pricing for it here, you'll notice that there is a free tier. Well, the core plugin itself is free. And what's amazing about Paid Memberships Pro is that even in the core plugin, there are several premium features that are available to you. So for instance, in this free tier, you get unlimited restricted content, unlimited membership levels and members, free or paid registration. You can have multiple memberships per user, recurring subscriptions. All the gateways are available, including Stripe and PayPal. All email marketing integrations, so BBPress, BuddyPress, BuddyBoss integrations, course and LMS integrations, front-end login, which is extremely important. Sometimes you don't find these in a lot of the other complex membership plugins. No-code user profile fields and restrict access to WordPress dashboard. Then there's WooCommerce integration and Zapier integration, and then there's 29 free add-ons. So with everything that you see here, you can actually build out a very successful membership website. Now, the other two options, the standard and the plus, have some very useful and also some very creative features. So just go ahead and explore those. But we're really going to be using this free tier here. Now, because it's not available in the WordPress repo, maybe we can't go to plugins and click on add new for that. Here's how to get the plugin. So first, you're going to go to paidmembershipspro.com. Okay. When you get here, I want you to click on the documentation link here. Click directly on the link itself. So documentation. And on this page here, you'll see a link that says download and install. Go ahead and click on that. When you get here, okay, this first step here, download your preferred plugin package. Right over here, this is actually a live link to the free core plugin that you can use. So just go ahead and click on this one, and it will download the plugin to your computer. And now we're ready to go ahead and upload it into our WordPress install. Okay, so from here, we're going to go back to our membership site, and we're going to go to dashboard, go to plugins, click on add new plugin, and we're going to click on upload plugin. We're going to select the Paid Memberships Pro free core plugin that we downloaded from the Paid Memberships Pro website. Click on install now, click on activate plugin. Okay, so now it's going to take us through the setup wizard, and I highly recommend going through this wizard. Just makes everything really easy. So the first thing they're going to ask you is, what type of membership site are you creating? And you want to choose the answer that fits the type of site that you're creating. So there are several different ones that you can select. You don't have to select this now, but I recommend just selecting one that best suits you. In our case, let's just say it's courses. Okay. And then the next question here is, do you want to generate the required plugin pages? And it's already checked and it's recommended. So I recommend leaving that checked. That way it generates all the pages that you need for your checkout, account management, and front end levels for your site. So we'll leave that checked. And then here it's asking, will I be collecting payments for my membership? So if you're going to be collecting payments, then you want to go ahead and check this. If not, you want to leave it unchecked. But just for the sake of you seeing what this looks like, I'm going to go ahead and check yes. And then here it's asking you to enter your support key. So this is if you're using the paid version where you have the paid add-ons added on. If you're not using it, then you don't need to add anything in here. Just go ahead and click submit and continue. Next is going to take you to the payments section. Here we're going to select that we're using US dollars. And then you can configure your payment gateway. So if you're using Stripe and you select Stripe, then you will go through the process of configuring Stripe. Or if you have a different one that you're using, then you can go ahead and click on other. For now, we're just going to select other. Yes, we could use Stripe. In a later tutorial, I will do a deep dive into Paid Memberships Pro, and we'll go through every single thing. But for the purposes of just building out this membership website, let's just go ahead and select other. Okay. And you can always go and configure your payment gateways later. I'll show you where you can do that. Next, we're going to click on submit and continue. And then here it's going to tell you to set up your first membership levels for this wizard. So here you can create a free membership level. So let's go ahead and create a free one. And maybe we'll just call this one free. And then we also click create a paid membership level. And we'll call this one premium. And let's say the amount's going to be $67 every month. And then next, we're going to go ahead and click on submit and continue. And then here you're going to see the advanced settings. So here it's asking you, do you want to have members only see the restricted posts and pages in search and archives? Okay. On this one, I like to leave it as yes. If you say no, then that means non-members will be able to see any restricted posts or pages in the search archives. And we don't necessarily want that. We want everything to be completely hidden. And then show excerpts to non-members. I'm also going to say no on that one, although you do have the option of saying yes. But I'm going to say no on that. Okay. And then here it's going to ask you, do you want to block all users with the subscriber role from accessing the dashboard? The answer to that is yes, because we want to keep everybody on the front end. We don't want them on the back end of WordPress. And then hide the toolbar from all users with the subscriber role. We're also going to check that as yes as well. Okay. Here you can choose to enable tracking so that it will send your usage over to Paid Memberships Pro to help them develop the plugin better. But once you're done selecting your options, just go ahead and click on submit and continue. Okay. So now our setup is completed, literally just that quick, and our site is now ready. Okay. So now here they're recommending some add-ons that you can use. And because we selected courses, there's the courses for membership, which is a free add-on. And then here are some plus add-ons if you're using the paid version, and then a custom post type add-on if you're using the paid version as well. Okay. All right. Pretty much at this point, you've already installed everything that you need. So let's go ahead and take a look at how our site is different. So I'm going to click here to exit the wizard and return to the dashboard. First thing you're going to notice is that here in the Paid Memberships Pro dashboard, you'll see everything that has to do with your membership. So any sales and revenue, membership stats, visit views, and logins, any recent members, recent orders, and then some Paid Memberships Pro news and updates. Okay. And then here, these tabs. So here you can see your members. Here are your orders, any subscriptions you have, any reports. Okay. Some additional settings. And here there are additional settings below here. So discount codes, the pages, payment gateway, security, email settings, email templates, user fields design, and advanced. And then here are all the add-ons. One add-on that I recommend installing right away is the update add-on, because this is not, because Memberships Pro, Paid Memberships Pro is not in the WordPress repo. You want to be able to update this plugin whenever there are updates, and you can't do it through WordPress. So there is a plugin here, and it is actually an add-on, excuse me. And I'm just going to do a search here for manager. It's the update manager. There it is right here. So the update manager, it's free. Just go ahead and install that. And that way, when there are updates, you can easily update the plugin without any issue. Click on install and we'll activate it from here. And then here's where you would add a license if you get the paid version of Paid Memberships Pro. Now I want to reiterate, this version, the core version, has all the features that you need to be able to run a membership site. But in the paid version, what happens is you get access to more of these add-ons to do different things with it, in addition to some additional membership benefits that are directly from Paid Memberships Pro. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want to show you is if we go to pages right now, you'll see all the pages that have been installed for you. So now we have a login page. Okay. There's a membership accounts page, the billings page, membership cancellation page, membership orders, profile page, checkout page, confirmation page, and membership levels page. So if we view this page right now, here you can see all the levels, right? So now don't worry about the styling. We haven't styled anything. And in this tutorial, we're not really going to be styling anything. This is just more to show you how to set up a membership website fairly quickly using the tools that we have here. But this is where people would come, and then you would basically select the membership that you want, okay? This is the login page. This is our membership accounts page. So you can see it has me and my account and any memberships that I'm signed up to. So I'm not signed up to any membership, but if I were, that membership would be listed here. The membership billing, membership cancellation, and then membership checkout is all over here right now. Okay, so this is pretty much everything that you need. Now, what we need to do is just go ahead and set up the membership website so that it flows correctly. The first thing we want to do is that when you go to the front end of the website, if you're logged in, we want you to see a member dashboard that shows all of the access to maybe the courses that you have access to, any downloads, or any of the assets that you're getting access to in your membership site. Then the other thing that we want to set up is we want to make sure that when you're logged out, or if somebody were to visit this link, members.builtinwp.com, when they visit this link, the very first page that they see will be a login page or an invitation to sign up for a membership. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up those two distinct pages right now. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to build out the membership area or the membership dashboard, or what's often known as the members home page. This is the page that the members will land on once they've logged into the membership site, so they can access their content or their assets or their account. Now, the way Paid Memberships Pro works is when you log in after you set up your membership, the page that the member is directed to is the membership account page. Okay, so this is the membership account page. It has your account information and any listing of memberships that you are a part of. And the beautiful thing about the Paid Memberships Pro pages, all of the pages, is every single one of them is actually run by a shortcode. Now, the reason why this is a very powerful advantage is that I can build content around these shortcodes, right? So by default, they're placed in default pages, but we can also utilize the powers of the Kadence theme to go ahead and customize any of these pages the way that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this membership account page and I'm going to use it as my members home page. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to set that page to be the home page of the members area, and then we'll protect the page so that only members can see that page. So if anybody visits that page and they're not a member, then they'll be met with a login request. And any members who visit that page will be met with the content that's meant for them to access. So let's go ahead and customize this page. To edit this page, we're going to go here to the admin toolbar and click on edit page. So we're editing the membership account page. If you're not seeing this page for whatever reason, you can go to the dashboard, go to pages, all pages, and you'll see the membership account page here. And you can click on edit. That'll take you to the editing interface for this page. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and set up the page using the Kadence theme settings. So here on the right hand side, just select the page settings, and we're going to disable the page title. We're going to set the page layout to full width. The content style will be unboxed, and the content vertical spacing will be disabled. Okay, we're going to leave the shortcode from Paid Memberships Pro in place, and I'm just going to select it, click on the vertical ellipsis, and click on add before. Then I'm going to type a / and the word row. I'm going to select the row layout from Kadence blocks, and I want a overall container row. So I'm going to select one column container for the row. And then from here, I'm going to select the alignment in the short toolbar here. Click on full width. And then for the inner content width, I'm just going to set that to the inner content width of the theme. Okay. All right. Now in this space right here, I'm going to go ahead and just give this some space. About 3x large is enough on the top and also the bottom. And then I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to select the text block from Kadence blocks. And here I'm just going to type welcome to the membership area. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and center this. And I want this to be an H1 tag. And I also want it to be a little bit larger. So I'm going to move over here to the right, select the block settings, and I'm going to set this to be a large text, or maybe extra large text. Okay. Next, I'm going to hit the enter key right after that text. And then in the new block line, do a /. Start typing the words text. Select the text block from Kadence. Go ahead and center that. And here we're going to say access your content below. And we're going to change this designation from an H2 to a paragraph. And then select the initial text here, the welcome to the member area. Move over to the right, go to advanced. And under the margin bottom, we're going to go ahead and zero that out so that it brings it a little bit closer. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our actual content. Now, this is just more like wireframing, so we don't have any real membership content, but this is the member area where they get to access that content. So I'll show you what that can look like. Of course, you can make it look any way you want. This is just an example. I'm going to hit the enter key, do a /, type the words row, select the row layout from Kadence blocks, and I want a 4-column row. Or actually, let's make this a 3-column row to keep it easy. So here's a 3-column row. In the first column, I click on the plus sign. I'm going to add an info box block from Kadence blocks. So that's this block right here. If you don't see this, just go ahead and do a search for info box and you'll see it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and style this as though this were going to be either the excerpt for a course or access to some protected content. So I'm going to select it, move over here to the right. And what I want to do is under the style tab, media settings, I'm going to make the icon a little bit smaller, maybe 30 pixels. And then also the title. So scroll down here, we'll look at the title settings. And I'm going to set this, this title here to an H3. We'll go ahead and capitalize it. And the font size can be medium. Okay, and maybe let's say this is access to courses as an example. Okay, all right, and I'm also going to eliminate some of this text here. And then under the settings again, all the way down, we have the learn more settings. I'm going to use this to create a button. So I'm going to click on the learn more settings, toggle it on, and here we'll set the text color to be a white color. And then our background will be our accent colors. And then for the border radius, let's just soften up the corners there. So we'll soften this up to, say, 6 pixels. And then for the font size, I'm going to set this to medium. Actually, small will do. And then I do want the button to be a little bit wider. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here to where we have the padding. I'm going to increase the top padding to 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom, and then on the right, we'll increase this to 28. and 28 on the left. Okay. All right, then for the outer container here, I do want to soften up these edges as well. So I'm going to select the container, move over to the right, scroll all the way back to the top of the block settings. And here you're going to see the border radius for the corners of that container. Let's go ahead and unify those corners. And we will set this here to 8 pixels. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with the way this looks. So now I just need to duplicate this across the other columns. So I'm going to go ahead and select the info box, click on the vertical ellipsis, click on copy, then click on the second column, add a paragraph block, and then do a Command V or Control V if you're using a PC, Command V if you're using a Mac. And then want to go ahead and do the same thing for the third column here. All right, so now we have the beginnings of our content. Now we just need to add some additional rows. Now to do that, instead of duplicating this entire row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the row again, and I'm going to click on this plus sign in the short menu. That's going to give me a new section as a grid. So let's just make this, let's have a total of 9 access points to the protected content. And then I'm going to copy the info box from one of the columns. So just select it, click on the vertical ellipsis, copy, and then go ahead and paste it in each one of the new columns you just created. So this is going to create a very nice and even grid for us, basically simulating a content area for the member homepage. Okay, so now this looks good. Now, of course, you're going to change all these to correspond to wherever they're going to lead. Or if there are different courses, then you would name them after those courses. Okay. Okay, so now we have a very nice and decent member area. Now what I want to do is I want to include the Paid Memberships Pro account information in this page as well. Okay, so in this section, I've left it here outside of the container, but now I'd like to go ahead and bring it in. So I'm going to select that row again. And this time I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis and select Add After, which is going to give me a new block line. And here I'm going to do a forward slash. Select the word row, or type the word row, excuse me. This will give me a new row layout. And this is going to be a 1 column row. And inside of this column, I'm going to add a text block. And we're going to call this account management. And then I'm going to do an enter for a new block line, forward slash, start typing the words divider. And we're going to select the spacer divider from Kadence. Going to move over here to the right for the settings for the spacer divider. And I'm going to set the divider width to 100% so that it spans the full width of that container. The divider height is going to be 2 pixels. And the divider color is going to be our highlight color. Then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the height here to 20 pixels. And then I'm also going to zero out the margin below this heading text here. So I'm going to select it, move over to the right to the settings, go to advanced, go to the margin bottom, and let's go ahead and zero that out. Okay, excellent. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and add the Paid Memberships Pro account shortcode right below here. So I'm going to select the divider, click on the vertical ellipsis, click on Add After, and now I'm going to go ahead and select the PMP Pro account shortcode, which is down here, and I'm going to go ahead and move it right into that section there. Okay. So now we have the welcome text, the instructions for how to access their content, and then we also have the account manager. Let's see how this looks so far. I'm going to go ahead and save the work. And then when we view this on the front end, we can see the welcome to the member area. Here are the courses, or the placeholder for our courses. And then right over here, we have the account management. Here's your account information and your memberships information. Okay. All right, now what I want to do is I want to add a mini navigation to this, because when you first come to this here, we want to make sure that it's easy for them to get to this information here as well, okay? So we're going to add a button that's going to say maybe account, or access your account, or account management, or something like that. And maybe another button that says log out, okay? So maybe 2 buttons up here to be able to navigate around the page, okay? All right, so let's go back to edit page and scroll down. I do want to add a little bit of spacing here, so just create some good space here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to the top, and then right after the access your content below text, I'm going to place my cursor, hit the enter key. That's going to give me a new block line. I'm going to do a /, and I'm looking for a row layout. So type the word row. We're going to select the row layout from Kadence. And this time we're going to have a 2-column row. And then I'm going to select the inner content width. And this time we'll get an inner content width. Let's make this 780 pixels. Okay. Okay, we're going to click on the plus sign in the first column, and we're going to go ahead and add a advanced button from Kadence. Here's one right here. Just go ahead and click on the button block, and we're going to label this one Manage Account. And I'm going to move over here to the right, go to the Style tab, scroll down, and you'll see the icon settings. Open up the icon settings, click on the Select Icon field, and we're going to go ahead and add a user icon. So here's one right here. Let's actually add this one. This looks nice. And then here I'm going to change the icon location to the left of the button. Okay. All right. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and style this button up just a little bit. And what I'm going to do, because I want it to be different from these buttons here. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top, go to the border radius, and I'm going to unify the corners here, and we're going to set this to 4 pixels. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the background. So I'm going to select the background color here, and I want the background to be a light background. I want the color to be our darkest color, and I'm going to scroll down to the icon color here and change that to the darkest color as well. Okay, and then here under typography, I want the font to be a little bit more bold. So I'm going to select the font weight, and we're going to select extra bold there. Okay. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the padding a little bit. So go to advanced. Under the padding, go ahead and unify the sides here, and we're just going to increase this slightly to, let's say, extra small. Okay. All right, excellent. I'm going to go back to the general tab here, and I'm going to set the button width. Let's go ahead and set this to 275 pixels, so it's a little bit wider. All right, and that looks pretty good. That looks more like a button now. Now let's go ahead and set up the hover for it. Okay, select the button, move over to the right, go to Style. Under the button styles, select the hover tab, and under the hover tab, I'm going to set the background color to be just a little lighter than the main color. The color on hover is going to be just a little bit lighter here. So when we hover over this, it's going to have that effect right there. Okay. All right. Excellent. Then I'm also going to add a box shadow to it. So I'm going to click on normal, the normal tab, scroll down, click on box shadow. And for the box shadow, I'm going to increase this to, let's say, 48 blur. And the color, I'm going to make the color the medium text color here. And then we're just going to gradually reduce the opacity of that so that it starts to fade, but it's right there very subtly in the background. Okay, so that's about 25%. Okay, so now when we hover over this, it has that effect almost like it is being pressed. Okay. All right, excellent. Next, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this button. So make sure when you select the button, you can open this up in list view. Make sure you have the actual button container selected. Click on the vertical ellipsis, then click on duplicate, and then go ahead and drag the copied button over. And then we're going to change this text to log out. And we'll change the icon as well. So move over to the style. We'll go to the icon settings. We'll remove the user icon, click on the select icon field, and do a search for log out. And here is a suitable icon for logging out. So now we have our two buttons in place, and now we need to link these. So I want to link this button to the account management here. So I'm going to select the account management text, move over to the right, go to advanced, and go to the advanced tab. And here where it has the HTML anchor, I'm going to go ahead and add an anchor here. So let's just add account. So we'll just say ACCT manage. Okay, and then go ahead and copy that. And then you're going to go back to the button here, select the manage account button, and then under the general tab of the button link, just go ahead and do a hashtag and paste the account manage in there. Click on submit, save, and we'll view the page. And when you click on this, it will take you right to that account management section. Okay. We'll come back later and style the link to log out. But now we've completed creating our member area. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that when people visit this area in an incognito window, we're going to check to see that it actually loads up the login page. Okay, so right now we're logged in, so we're able to see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this link for the members area. And I'm going to open this up in an incognito window. And let's go ahead and paste that in. Okay, so trying to access the member account will ask you to go ahead and log in before you can see the information there. And we'll test this out here in a moment. But first, what we want to do is we also want to make sure that the login page looks pretty good as well. So to fix that, let's go ahead and just close out of this. And we'll go to the login page, click on edit page. And from here, we'll go to settings, disable the page title, set this to full width, unboxed, and disable the vertical spacing. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the short code for the login, click on the vertical ellipsis, click on add before to add a new block line, do a /, type the words row, select the row layout. This time we're going to do a 1 column row. We're going to go ahead and make this full width. Then we're also going to set the inner content width here. We're going to set that to 780 pixels. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and extend the padding on the top to 4x large, or let's make it 5x large. And then I'll click on the plus sign, select a text block from Kadence block, and I'm going to say, please log in. And then I'm going to hit the enter key, do a / text block, change this to a paragraph, and we're going to say, not a member, please sign up. Okay, let's go ahead and, all right, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, click on the link icon, and for now we'll just do a hashtag. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the Paid Memberships Pro login shortcode, and we're going to drag it over here. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and hit enter right after that last bit of text, and then we'll just go ahead and drag it right on top of it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. And so now we'll go to the front end of the website. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link, open it up in incognito window, and let's test it out. All right, much more presentable, much nicer login page with a request to go ahead and sign up should someone stumble upon this page without an account. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and connect everything and also clean up the membership site as well. So that means we're going to clean up the header here so we have a decent header for the membership site. And then we're going to go ahead and link this link right over here to the actual sign up options for the membership site. And then we also want to make this page the home page for the membership portion of the site. That way, when we connect it to the brand site or the sales site, when people click on login, it takes them over here and they can go ahead and log in and access their assets or sign up for a membership. So let's go ahead and take care of that right now. Okay, so let's close out the incognito window and go back to our login page. I'm going to go ahead and click on edit page. And from here, I'm going to select the highlighted text or the linked text, click on the edit icon. And if we remove the hashtag, you'll be able to see the pages on your site. And one of those pages are the membership levels. This is from Paid Memberships Pro. And this page shows the membership options for your site that you created earlier on in the wizard. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and then click on save. And now when we view the page and click that link, it'll take us to the membership levels. And then from here, people can go ahead and select which level that they want to sign up with. So if they select the free one, it'll take them to the free checkout. If they select the premium, it will take them to a paid version where they can add a credit card and sign up for a monthly fee. Okay. All right. So the one thing that we do want to do is we want to make sure that we customize these pages to look a little bit more presentable. So while this is nice, the benefit of using Paid Memberships Pro is that everything's really modularized. So these are just links that link you to the checkout. So that means you can actually custom design this page any way that you see fit to suit your user's experience. So let's go ahead and customize this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on the edit page link here to edit the membership levels page. And here you can see the short code that is bringing forth the membership options. I'm going to click on the short code itself, click on the vertical ellipsis, and then select add before to give me a new block line. From here, I'll do a /, type the words row. I'm going to select a row layout. And this time, instead of selecting a layout, I'm just going to click on the design library. In the design library, you have many options for what you can use to be able to better present your membership options. But here under the categories, under the pattern categories, I'm going to select the pricing table. Okay, so now that I've selected the pricing table, I just simply need to find a pricing table that has two tables that list some options here. So any one of these will do. This is a pretty good one here. And this one is also great. I'm going to go ahead and select this one. So let's just select this pricing table. And it's going to go ahead and add it to the page for me. Okay. So here now we can then say select your plan, and our overlying text can say join the membership. Okay. So now that we have this in place, let's also set up this page a little bit here. So what I want to do, I'm going to go ahead and click on the page settings. We're going to disable the page title. We'll leave the page layout as normal. And for the content style, we'll leave this as the default. But for the content vertical padding, we'll go ahead and disable that. Okay. So now that we have our page layout, let's also add our plan here. So this one is the premium plan, and this is going to be $67 a month. We'll do a / month. And what I can do here is I can highlight this, click on the more arrow in the short menu, and then select the highlight. Actually, select the advanced highlight. Move over here to the right, go to the block settings, and then here where it says advanced highlight settings, open this up. And we'll change this color back to white. But what I want to do is I want to reduce the size of that text. So I'm going to click on the font size and we'll select small. All right. And then here, this is our free plan. So let's just go ahead and change the name here to free. And this will be $0. Okay. And then we'll change the button label to get started, and we can change this one too. Okay, great. So this is a great placeholder for us. So next, what we want to do is we want to connect these links to the actual plans themselves. Okay, so to do that, we have to grab the link. So I'm going to go ahead and save the work now, and let's view the page. Okay, so if we scroll down here, we can see the earlier shortcode and the output here. And for the free plan, this will be that link. For the premium plan, this is the link. So I'm going to put my mouse over here, right click, select copy link address, and then I'm going to go back to edit the page, and I'm going to click on the free plan button, move over to the right, click in the button link field. You can do a Command V, that'll go ahead and paste that link in there. Now notice that when you paste a link, you can see here the full link, what it is, but at the end of it, there is a 1. So in Paid Memberships Pro, the first plan you create is going to be labeled as the first plan, so 1. And the second one naturally will be 2. So I already know that this URL is the same because it's going to be the checkout URL. So this URL is going to be the same, PMP Pro _ level equals 1 for the free one. So that means that the paid one will be PMP Pro _ level equals 2. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this, submit this, and then save the work. And so I already know, so I can come here to the button for the premium plan, select it, and then click in the field here and paste. And this time I'm going to change that 1 to a 2. and go ahead and submit it. Okay. Now, if you want to double check this, if we go and we view the page, scroll down here, when you hover over the select over here, you can see at the bottom left corner, you can see what that URL is, and you can see the level equals to 2 over there for that premium. Okay. So if I click on this one, this should take me to the premium plan, which it does successfully. Okay. And this will take me to the free plan, which it does successfully as well. Okay. All right. So now that we've linked these, we no longer need this here anymore. So it's now safe to go ahead and delete this. So I'm going to come over here, click on edit page, scroll down, select the shortcode block and hit delete. Click on save. And now when we view the page, okay, we now have a much more presentable membership page. So when somebody goes to log in and they click on please sign up here, they now come here and they can go ahead and get started with one of your membership plans. Okay, so before we finalize the membership page, let's just do a quick recap of what we have so far. So we've created the plan page or the custom membership options page here, and we've replaced what Paid Memberships Pro provided with our own pricing table, but linked it to where people can go ahead and enroll in whichever membership they choose. Okay. We've also created a login page. Now, typically you would see a login form here, but because I'm logged in, you're not seeing that login form because it's recognizing that I'm actually logged in. But if I were not logged in, you would see a login form here. But essentially this page is the page that people would see if they came to the membership site directly, or if they clicked from our brand site to go ahead and sign up for a membership or try to access content that's only reserved for the membership. So it would ask them to go ahead and log in, or it would ask them to go ahead and sign up for a plan, which we have a link in the login page here for them to be able to do that. The final page that we needed to make sure we set up is the membership account page. Now, the membership account page also contains the protected content or excerpts to the protected content for our members. And it also has the account management information here at the bottom, which they can get to by clicking on this link, and it'll take them here. Okay, so these are the main core pages that we needed to make sure were set up correctly before we go ahead and finalize the membership site. Now, to finalize the membership site, we need to do two things. The first thing we need to do is we need to create a custom header, because we don't want this to be our header. We essentially don't want anything up here other than the logo and maybe a few icons or a few links that is relevant to the membership. And this will be different depending on whether you're logged in or logged out. Also, the second thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that when you click this link on the membership site, okay, that it either takes you to the login page or it takes you to the brand site. It depends on how you want your flow to go, okay? But in this case, we need to make sure that our members are not seeing this, or even non-members are not seeing this page over here, okay? And we also want to make sure that if you're logged in and you click the logo here, then it should take you to the membership account page where you can go ahead and access your content, okay? So let's go ahead and take care of two things right now. First thing, we're going to create our custom header. Second thing, we're going to go ahead and place the pages in the right order and in the right places so that when you're clicking links on the membership site, it's taking you to the right sections. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set this page to be the home page for the membership site, meaning the membership content site where our members will access their content. This is going to be the home page for that site. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and navigate to the admin toolbar, click on dashboard, go to settings, and then reading. And then where it says your home page displays, select the a static page option. And then under the home page select field, go ahead and select the membership account page as the home page. We're going to go ahead and click on save changes. And now when you visit the front end of the website, you'll notice that the member dashboard is now the home page. Now, if someone were to visit this page and they were not a member, then they would actually see a login page. Okay, so let's go ahead and test that out. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link and then open up an incognito window, paste the link in the address bar. Okay, and you can see that it now shows the login page. If I were to go to the membership account page, it's just going to redirect me here to go ahead and sign in or to sign up. Okay, so this is exactly the behavior that we want. Okay, now if we close this, and here's us as a logged in member. So as a logged in member, if I were to click on this link here, it's just going to redirect me back to the member area. Okay, so everything is now working correctly and seamlessly. Next, let's go ahead and set up our custom header so that we don't have all these links here. We just have a nice, clean, simple header that works for the members. To create a very simple custom header, we're going to utilize the advanced header block from Kadence blocks. So to do that, we're going to go over to the dashboard here, go to the Kadence link in the side menu, and then from here, we're going to select headers. We're going to click on add new Kadence header, and we'll name this one member site header, and we'll give it a description of the same name. Click on next. And from here, we're just going to create a blank desktop header. And then for the tablet, let's go ahead and create a blank one too. Okay, so here we are in the header builder. And then over here, we have the visual builder button. Let's go ahead and open that. Okay, so from here, all we need to do is add a logo. And then we also want to add a logout link in the navigation. That way it's easy for the member to see where they can log out of the site. To do that, we're going to go over here to the middle row, click on the plus sign, and do a search for site identity, or just select the site identity block if you see it. So let's go ahead and click on that. So here's the site identity block here, and the settings are going to be here on the right. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and toggle off the show site title so that it's just the logo by itself. Okay. All right. Make sure that the link to the home page is toggled on, and that's pretty much all we need on this side of the header. Okay. On the right side, we're going to need a logout link. Okay. To do that, just click on the plus sign and do a search for logout. Okay. So over here, you're going to see a login logout block from Gutenberg. We're going to utilize this one. So just go ahead and select it. Okay. Here's that logout, login, logout. If you look over here to the right-hand side, there are these different settings. There's a setting to display the login as a form, redirect to current URL. Just leave everything the way that it is right now, because when a member is logged out, it'll say log in, and when you're logged in, it'll say log out. Okay. All right. And then the next thing that we need to do is just need to make sure that our header has enough spacing. So I'm going to go ahead and select the main header itself. You can see how thin that is. Just go ahead and select it. And then we're going to move over here to the right. Select advanced. And for the padding on the top, let's go ahead and add a small padding there. And then on the bottom, we're going to add a small padding there as well. Okay. Then for the style, let's go ahead and make sure that we have a background color of white. Okay. So far this looks good. Let's go ahead and save our changes. And then exit back out to the dashboard. From here, go to Appearance, go to Customize. This will open up the customizer for us on the front end. And then from here, we're going to go to Header. And then once you get into the header section, scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you'll see a toggle to enable the block header. Once you get here, you're going to see a drop down for the header block. Let's go ahead and click on the drop down and select the member site header that we just created. And you'll see our header in place right over there. Let's go ahead and click on Publish, and we'll exit, view the front end of the website. And now we have our logo and we have our logout link. Okay. And since we have this logout link here, we probably don't need this logout link here. So let's go ahead and click on Edit Page, and we'll come here, select this button, hit delete. That'll delete that. And then what we can do is select the entire row, move over to the right, and change the columns to just one column. Okay, we can leave this here. Let's go ahead and save and view the page. Okay, great. So this looks awesome. So over here now, if we were to click on the logo, that's just going to redirect us back to the member area. And then over here, if we click on log out, then this should log us out of the membership site and bring us right back to the form. And now you can see here, it says login. Okay. And then if people were to come here for some reason, and maybe they came from the brand site or they found this URL some way, then they can go ahead and be met with this page where they can log in, or they can click here to go ahead and sign up for a plan. This is exactly how we want our membership site to behave. Now all we need to do is go ahead and connect the brand site to the member site. And that way, when people visit the main domain, which is going to be builtinwp.com, then they can easily link over to this site once they sign up for a membership. Okay, so let's begin the connecting between the main website, which is the builtinwp.com website, with the membership component site, which is members.builtinwp.com. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and we're going to go ahead and start with the header. So we want to make sure that the join the membership connects to the membership levels page or the membership options page. And then the sign in page should connect to the login page. Okay, so this is a custom header. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard and we're going to go to Kadence headers. Click on edit and we'll select the first button and move over here to the right. So what we want here is the membership levels or the membership options page. So if we go back to our member site here and you click on this link, that'll take you to the membership options. So we're going to go ahead and copy this URL and go back and we'll paste the URL in here and submit. Okay. Next, we're going to also add the link for the sign in. So this should take us directly to the login page for the membership site. So I'm going to go back here again. You can click here on login and we can just grab the login link and we'll go back here and we'll paste that in here. Okay. And save. All right, now that we've saved that, let's go back to the front end of the website and test. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test our links. So if I click on join the membership, that will take me directly to where I can select the plan, select the membership plan. And if I click on sign in, that will take me to the login page for the membership. Okay. All right, so far so good. Now we're going to go ahead and connect the rest of the buttons that are on the site here. So I'm going to click on edit page and we're going to come here for join the membership. I'm going to grab the link again, select the button, paste that in and submit. And we're not necessarily offering a free trial anymore. So let's just go ahead and remove this button. We don't need that anymore. And we'll scroll down here, go ahead and add this link. We'll remove the free trial link there. And okay, so here where we have this pricing table. Okay, so we don't have three options. So we can go ahead and remove one of these. So I'm going to select this one here and I'm just going to delete that. Okay, and then we can just change this to our normal plan, which is $67 per month. And this is our premium plan. Okay, and we will use the highlight here. So just highlight the text, click on highlight, click on advanced highlight, move over here to the right, go to the advanced highlight settings. We'll change the color to white and we'll reduce the font size to small. All right, and then here we'll say get started as our button. And then we'll do the same here. And this is the free tier. Okay, and we no longer need 3 columns here, so we could just reduce this to 2 columns. 2 columns, there we go. And then just to keep everything similar to the way that it was, we'll go 600 pixels, maybe actually 800 pixels, there we go. Okay, all right, so now we need to link these to their respective plans. So I'm going to go back to the membership levels page here that we created. And I'm just going to copy this link. Go back here, select the button, paste the link in, submit, and then do the same thing here. Click the button, paste the link in. I know this is going to be a 1, so I'm going to go ahead and type 1 there. Okay. And that should conclude us connecting to the home page. So now when we view the page, if I click on join the membership, that takes me right to the plan. Scroll down. That works correctly. And here, if I just click directly on the premium membership, it takes me to where I can go ahead and create my membership and make my payment. And if I click on the free membership, it also shows me the free membership tier. Okay. All right. So far, this looks pretty seamless. Now, there is one thing that we need to take care of. So I want you to check this out. If I click on join the membership, okay, it takes me to where I can go ahead and sign up for a plan. However, if I click on the logo here, so let's say I wanted to go back to the sales page. Maybe I just wanted to review everything again. If I click here, it takes me to the login and it keeps me on that membership site. And we actually don't want that to happen. We want, when you click on this, we want it to take us back to the main builtinwp.com website, to the main domain site or the main branded site. However, if you are logged in and you do click this button, we want that to keep you on the membership site or keep the member on the membership site. So this link here, or this the logo here on the member side, has to have a dual purpose, and we'll need to set that up. So let me go ahead and show you how to set that up so that everything works seamlessly, so that when you're logged in and you click on the logo, it keeps you on the member site. And when you're logged out and you click on the logo, it takes you back to the main site. Okay, I'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and log back into the membership site. That'll bring us right here to the dashboard. We're going to go over here to the WP dashboard. And from here, we're going to go to Kadence and we're going to go to headers. And let's go ahead and access the member site header that we built earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and click on edit, and that's going to bring us here to our custom header. So let's open up the Visual Builder. And here in the Visual Builder, you'll see that we have the site identity. Now, by default, the site identity block is going to link to the home page. You can change it to link somewhere else, but we actually want this to link to the home page, which is going to basically link us to this area if you're logged in, and it'll link you here if you're not logged in. Okay. But what we want is, if you are here and you click on the logo, we want that to take you to the main membership site. Okay, so that's going to be this site right here. We want it to take you here, okay, if you're not logged in. And if you are logged in, okay, so if you are logged in, we want, when you click this, that it keeps you here. Okay, so to be able to make that happen, let's go back to the custom header that's controlling all that. And here we have the site identity, and it automatically links to the home page. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and select the logo itself. So when I select this logo, when you look over to the right, you're now in the site logo settings. So there is the site identity settings. So for that, you would click on the cogwheel. That gives you the site identity settings. If you click on the actual logo itself, that'll give you the site logo settings. And within the site logo settings, if you look all the way here to the bottom, because you're using Paid Memberships Pro, the plugin, there is a content visibility capability here. Okay, this is typically applied to the native Gutenberg blocks, and the site logo is a native Gutenberg block. The site identity block, if you open this up here, the site identity block is from Kadence, but it contains the site logo from Gutenberg. So it's a pretty clever way of being able to add the logo to your custom headers. Okay, so go ahead and close this out. So you're going to need to select the actual logo itself to be able to access the site logo settings. And in the site logo settings, there is the content visibility. So I want this content here, I want this one to be visible to people who are logged in, to the members that are actually logged into the membership site. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and toggle this on. And right here it says show, right? And show content to logged in users. Okay, and we're going to leave this just the way that it is. It says this is the hide this block if the user does not have access, but this doesn't apply in this case. So we're just going to say we want to just show this logo to logged in users. Okay, and just go ahead and toggle that on, and then leave everything as is. Let's go ahead and save this work. All right, now what I'm going to do next, click on this plus sign, and I'm going to add a second site identity block. Okay, now this identity block is going to be one that is going to be for people who are logged out. So you notice that when I added it, it added it right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the site title. So this is the site identity settings. I'm going to turn off the site title here. I'm going to select the logo, and I want the image width to be the same as the other one. So we're going to set this to 140 pixels. Okay, so now at this point, this one is still operating the same as this logo. Okay, and we want to change that. So I'm going to select the logo itself, which is going to give me the site logo settings. Down here at the bottom, you're going to see the content visibility settings. Let's go ahead and enable that. So this is from Paid Memberships Pro. And this time, what I'm going to say is I want to hide this one from all members. So from all logged in users. I do not want the logged in users to see this one. Okay. So we're going to hide it from logged in users. So remember, the other one we wanted to show. This one we're going to hide from logged in users. So what that means then is that logged out users will be able to see this one, and logged in users will see this one. Okay. All right. So now that I've selected that, then I need to make sure that this logo links back to the main site over here. So let's just grab this URL. And now we're going to go back here. So I need to make sure that this links back. So if we select the site identity here, okay, and you look at the settings under the general settings here, you'll see here where it says link to home page. Let's go ahead and toggle that off. Now the link URL is blank, so we can go ahead and paste in where we actually want it to go. Okay, so we want it to go to builtinwp.com, which is going to be the main site, and that is if you are logged out. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. And when we view the front end of the site, so this is the member site. Notice we only are seeing one logo, and we're seeing the one that is meant for people that are logged in. If I'm anywhere else in this site and I click on this logo, it's going to keep me on the membership site. Now let's see what happens if I log out. So if I log out, okay, so now I'm logged out, and I click here, notice that it takes me back to the membership site. Okay, and now I can always click here to sign back in if I want to, and go ahead and sign in. Now if I change my mind and I want to go back to the other site, to the main site, I can just click here, and now I'm back here again. Okay, so, and the reason you want to do that is because sometimes people, you know, they might click on, say they say join the membership as an example. So they click here and they look at the options, and maybe they want to just go back to the main site. Okay, and because we want to keep this seamless, they just say, okay, well, let's just go back to the main site and read some more information. So if they click here, it should take them back to the main site. Okay, sometimes people might want to sign in, and maybe for whatever reason, they want to go back to the main site again, right? They can just click here. It just makes it easy. So for some reason, when we're doing this, it's actually not doing it, and I think I know why. I noticed that if I come here and I click here, it's still keeping me here, and I know exactly why that's the case. So let's go back. That means there's an error in our URL on the main site here. Okay, so let's go back. So over here, this sign in link is leading us directly to the login, but we don't want it to do that. So let's go to the dashboard. Let's go to our Kadence headers. Now I'm on the builtinwp.com, so this is the main brand site. Click on edit. And right here where it says sign in, let's look at this URL. So this should be just the main URL. So we don't need this login here, because by default, if you are not logged in, you'll never see this login page. So let's go ahead and click that. So we just want to make sure that this URL is just the members.builtinwp.com URL, or whatever your membership subdomain is. That's what you want to place there, okay, for the sign in on the brand site. Let's go ahead and save this. And let's go back to the front end here. Okay, so now let's test it. So if I click on sign in, now I'm on the member side. I can go ahead and sign in if I want to. But if I change my mind, or if I was in the membership site and I signed out and I want to go back to the brand site, clicking here should take me directly back. There you go. Okay, so we shouldn't see that redirect anymore. And if I go to join the membership and I change my mind, I can go right back. Okay, so now the operation between both sites, the membership side and the main brand page, or the main sales page or resources page, is completely seamless. Okay, I can come here sign in, and I can go ahead and log into the site, password, log in, and I'm redirected right back into the member area here, okay, where I can go ahead and access my courses, okay. All right, so now that we've connected everything, the next step is to actually test it and see if it works. So far, I've been doing everything as an admin, so I can see everything. But what if I was an actual member? Will the operation still work seamlessly and correctly? Let's go ahead and test that out. So to properly test our membership website, let's create some protected content. So I'm gonna come over here, go to new post, and we will call this member course. And we're just going to put some placeholder content just so we can see the protection capabilities of Paid Memberships Pro. So now that I've added some content, I'm going to move over here to the right, go to post, and one of the options here is going to say require membership. And so I'm going to require that free members and premium members have access to this content and anyone else won't. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this. Okay. And when you go to view the post, it says membership required, right? Because even though I'm an admin, I'm not really a member. Now, one thing that's really cool as an admin, I could still view the content. I would just need to change my view access. So up here in the admin toolbar, there is a access toggle where you can actually view it as a member would see it. So I can come over here and I can click on view with membership access, and it'll show me the post as if I were a member. And then I can go ahead and turn that off if I want to just have it operate normally. Okay, but what I really wanted is I just wanted to protect some content so that when we create a real member, we'll see if we can actually access this content. So I'm going to grab this link to this page. We're going to go back to the dashboard, click on edit page, and I'm going to link one of the courses to that link. So let's just link this first one. So we'll call this test member course, and we will link the button here to that post. All right, so now we have some protected content. All right, excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and log out of this area here, and we're going to go to our main site. So we're going to start from the brand site itself. So built in wp.com. Here we are. Okay, so someone is visiting our site, they consume this content, and then they decide that they would like to be a member. So they can click on join the membership, which will take them to the membership levels. And then from here, let's select the free plan and go ahead and sign up. So I'm going to go ahead and just use an email that we have here, create a password. Okay, so I've signed up for an account. Click on submit and confirm. And here's the thank you page for me signing up for the account and a link for me to view my membership account. All right, so it dropped me right into the member area, and I can see my account information, my memberships, and my order history. Okay, so now this is the content that I can access. If I click on the test member course, I have access to the course. Okay, if I click on the logo here, it takes me right back to the membership site. Okay, and if I log out, I am right back in the login page here. Okay, and if I click on this link, it takes me right back to the main site. All right, so the membership works. Now let's see if I can log in using the credentials that I just created. So if I click on sign in, it takes me to the login. From here, I can go ahead and add my username, and everything works great. And with that, that will conclude the tutorial on how to build a simple website from scratch, step by step, using 100% free tools such as Paid Memberships Pro, the free version, the Kadence theme, and Kadence blocks. Hey, I want to say thank you very much to the sponsor for this video, Cloudways. Please visit their website and pick up a server for your next project or your next membership or e-commerce project. Also, I want to say thank you very much to people who've been supporting the channel with your views, your comments, your likes, your shares, and also your subscription. I really, really appreciate it. And I also want to say thank you to the folks who've been supporting the channel by buying me a coffee. That is so much appreciated. Hey, if you found value in this tutorial, please go ahead and hit that like button. And also feel free to share it with friends who may enjoy the tutorial as well. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I release videos like this one. Once again, thank you very much for your support, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.